The matchup, the Michigan Wolverines, ranked third in the national polls and picked by their peers as the team likely to win the Big Ten Conference, against the UCLA Bruins of the Pac-10, already one of the surprise teams to many in the country after beating Alabama. Both teams have won their first two games. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to college football on ABC Sports. The question has been whirling around all week as whether or not Michigan starting quarterback Drew Henson has recovered sufficiently from a broken bone in his right foot and could play today. Michigan coach Lloyd Carr answers the question.
He practiced a little bit this past week, Keith, and I would hope that he'll be ready to go next week. But he is, based on his practice, and the doctors feel another week will do him good, so he won't play.
And neither will Corey Paws, the starting quarterback for UCLA, down with a separated shoulder, which means, Tim Brandt, backup quarterbacks have got to saddle up again.
Well, and we'll get an indication early how this game goes, how those quarterbacks respond, because they are going to try to force both to throw. Now, John Navarre has been spectacular the first couple of weeks for Michigan. As a matter of fact, he leads this nation in passing efficiency. He has been sharp. Ryan McCann came in for Paws against Alabama. He was terrific. But last week against Fresno State, he was not terrific, and they yanked him. How he responds is going to be critical as well. Michigan has some awfully talented receivers. Take a look at this. Bellamy, he is a great leaper. And then you've got David Terrell, who's 6'3", going against smaller cornerbacks. And Marquise Walker, he too is a great receiver, 6'3", going against guys like 5'9", Ricky Manning. But UCLA has him as well. Freddie Mitchell, extremely talented at wide receiver, well over 6 feet. And Brian Paula Dixon, he is 6'5", and folks, he can play this game.
For perspective, the Wolverines played in the very first Rose Bowl game here in 1902. They beat Stanford. They'd like very much to come back right after Christmas Day 2000. At 10 times, Michigan has won 8 of those games on a 100-degree day at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Here's Todd Harris from the field.
Thank you, Keith. The bottom line is that it's extremely hot here down on the field of the Rose Bowl. Temperature right around 103 degrees, and they say the temperature could go even higher by halftime. I talked with the trainers from both schools. They agree the key is keeping the kids hydrated and free of cramps. If the cramps come, they're going to have to resort to using IVs to get the fluids back into them. Speaking of fluids, these kids are going to lose between 8 and 10 pounds of water over the course of the game. So that spells a lot of Gatorade, a lot of time in the cool zone. And speaking of cool, the temperature right now in Ann Arbor, Michigan, a very comfortable 63 degrees. Back to you, Keith.
Well, might as well build a fire, put your feet up, and enjoy the ball game.
You shouldn't waste all that water.
The Bruins won the toss. They will kick off. They want the ball to start the second half. Nate Bixby will kick it. Walter Cross and Justin Farkas are waiting for it. The ball drifting way back into the end zone. Farkas looking up into a very high sky and bright sun. And I mean, it's just terribly bright. You look up into it, you just lose everything. John Navarre comes out as the starting quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines. He has been quite a story. This 6'6", 240-pound redshirt freshman leads Division 1A in pass efficiency. But he probably hasn't been tested quite like he will be tested today. The UCLA defense is a worrisome thing. Lloyd Carr pointed out several things along the way. We'll reveal them to you. Here is your first snap of the ball game. Into the line. The ball goes, and the Bruins jump all over Anthony Thomas, brought down by Ryan Neese. The chilly starting lineup for Michigan. The backfield is deep for the Wolverines, 5 deep at tailback, and that's very important. Terrell and Walker, big outside receivers. The offensive front for the Wolverines, senior tackle Jeff Backus making his 40th consecutive start. Backus, Hutchinson, Brant Williams all lettering 4 straight years. Second snap of the ball game. Navarre turns and gives off to B.J. Askew out of the fullback spot, and Askew will pick up 2 yards on the carry. So far, so good for the Bruin defense. This is the group that will have back today for more action the veteran tackle Ken Coker. He's a good one, but the people up front, Fletcher and Leslie particularly, have played very well. Tony White at linebacker, sore shoulder. Ryan Neese, a sore shoulder. They're gamers, though, and Lloyd Carr thinks that Robert Thomas is of All-American quality. There's your secondary. Marcus Anderson has been terrific in the secondary so far for the Bruins. First pass of the ball game for Navarre, and it is thrown into the ground. There was pressure on him, and coming through was Marcus Anderson, and number 7 put him on his britches.
Already UCLA giving Navarre some things to think about. They're cheating up their safeties. They're making them like linebackers. Now the backside pressure comes, as you mentioned, from Anderson, who's having a great year, fights through the blocker, and he could feel that. Rush the pass. Nobody in the area.
And so it's 3 and out for the Michigan Wolverines in their first possession, with Epstein doing the punting. He comes from Cardiff down the road in California. Ricky Manning has it back at the 35, gets around the corner. He's got a wall. He's gone. He is gone, but there is a penalty flag back at the 45-yard line. There is a penalty flag back at the 45. I think this one comes back.
Brian Fletcher got a block in the back, but I'll tell you, it wasn't much of one, Keith. He actually started to push him and actually backed off, but it was right in front of the official, and he threw the flag.
The referee today is Gordon Reese. The umpire is Walt Wolf. Linesman is Jim Rennie. The line judge, Roger McMahon. Field judge, Matt Gilchrist. Side judge, Ben Pope. And Gary LaFour is the back judge.
Remember that one, folks. There's 7 they're going to bring off the board.
Ricky Manning has been looking for a big one all season, and he got his chance. He had a perfect wall going down the sidelines, but the flag, the block in the back, and it negates a 61-yard return. They actually got him just short of the goal line.
10 yards to spot down.
Well, Fletcher backed off his. It couldn't have been him. Watch 43 there. That's Dave Ball. Dave Ball just with a little push in the back. That's what they flagged. So Fletcher and Ball both tried to pull back. They still threw the flag, and they'll bring that one back.
So instead of having the ball first and goal at the 4-yard line, the Bruins will own the football first down at their own 33. The quarterback, Ryan McCann, back in that spot with a vote of confidence. Having been pulled at halftime in the game against Fresno State, Michigan jumps all over Deshaun Foster, and he's going to lose 2 yards on the play. Now Chile's starting lineup for UCLA. Backs and receivers are healthy, and for UCLA, that's a revelation. Caller wide receiver Brian Poley-Dixon back at full speed. Offensive front, big people along the front, really a key, because you know Michigan is going to be coming today. You just saw it. 8-man box. They're going to put the burden of the offense right on the shoulders of Ryan McCann. Goes back to Foster. He's searching for a crack. Found a little bit. And gets it out to the 37-yard line before Victor Hobson brings him down. The front along the Michigan defense has been rebuilt and hasn't been tested as yet. Senior co-captain Eric Wilson looking for his 70th tackle today in his career. Linebackers, inside backer Larry Foote leads the team in tackles. And in the secondary, the cornerbacks in Michigan always get a lot of tackles. James Whitley is just 9 short of 150 in his career.
First passing down from McCann.
He's out of the shotgun. Good protection to the sidelines. He threw a sailor and went over a wide open Brian Poley-Dixon's head.
Boy, Poley-Dixon's upset too, Keith. He knew he was wide open. He came free, had enough for the first, and the ball was poorly thrown.
Poise in the early going can be terribly important.
Well, we've seen both quarterbacks now, inexperienced as they are, with 2 running plays apiece and 1 poor pass apiece.
Bellamy is waiting for Michigan, and Bixie will punt it. A pair of 19s looking at each other here. Bixie's kick is away, and it's a beauty. Bellamy circles under it, back at the 16-yard line, starts upfield, and he's cut down at the 23. And there Michigan will go to work. First and 10 from their own 23 as Keith Short makes the tackle. So we've tested the waters. Now let's see if we can find out how deep it is.
He loves it. And some booze. He's a showman. He is a showman.
So here we go with the second possession for Michigan. The big quarterback from Cudahy, Wisconsin. Stepping in to the Rose Bowl. The first time in his career. Navarre turns and gives the ball away to Anthony Thomas. And Thomas is hit hard by Ricky Manning, but he's up to about the 28-yard line. Dell Game Solutions now for Michigan Wolverines. Here's Coach Lloyd Carr.
The team that does the best job stopping the running game has the best chance to win. Because I think both teams feel like their running games are strong.
No question about it, and both teams are determined to run it. They go back to Thomas again. Now it's just Askew. B.J. Askew is a converted tailback. He's a good athlete. They wanted to get his abilities on the field, so they asked him to move to fullback. He agreed, and he's beginning to excel there.
I'll tell you this, Keith, they actually had him stopped at the line of scrimmage, but just his strength broke away from the tackle. Look at this. That's the line of scrimmage right there, and this is what they called yaks. Yards after contact, he picks up 5 more.
And it's a first down at the 35-yard line for Michigan. They'll try to run the ball to the right side with Anthony Thomas.
Fumble.
And Marcus Anderson nailed him. The ball came out, and UCLA's got it. Rusty Williams was on it for the Bruins.
Marcus Anderson, the fastest Bruin on defense and probably the most talented. He's already caused an incompletion with the blitz. He's come hard here on the perimeter, and watch the contact. He makes helmet-to-helmet contact. The ball is loose right now before he hits the ball, and the Bruins are all over it. So give 2 big pluses for Marcus Anderson, who caused an interception, almost had the sack or an incompletion, and now the fumble.
He was not on the team last year. He was out for the entire season. He and Jason Bell, so their reappearance in the Bruins secondary has made a huge difference. So from the Michigan 35-yard line, it's fumble. Michigan's got it. Deshaun Foster lost the football, and the Wolverines' Julius Curry covered it. And so we're swapping fumbles.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't think play's sloppy. I just think it's vicious. Some terrific hits. Both of these clubs, strong, talented, and I mean they're making each other feel the pain early. Look at the contact on Foster. And the ball comes out immediately. It was like he didn't have a good hand on it, and as soon as he got that good lick, it squeezed out.
Remember, it's over 100 degrees on the field, and you're going to get pretty wet and soggy as the day goes along. I want the Wolverines to get back away from the edge of the field a little bit. Now we'll go with it. First down. Ball is at the Michigan 34-yard line. Navarre back, gets the pass away, and it is incomplete. It was on the hands of Marquise Walker, but Marcus Anderson, no, not Anderson, it was Zdenek, Jason Zdenek and Jason Bell who were there.
Watch this, Keith. I mean, the ball was well thrown, so give Navarre a plus here. And it looks like a completion, and watch Bell's hand just punch it out of there. There's another guy that came back. Actually, Zdenek. You're right, Keith. I'm sorry. It was Zdenek. Zdenek came into this season relatively inexperienced.
He's played very well. Justin Vargas is now in the Michigan backfield for the first time today, and he's got the ball. Vargas, who calls Encino home, went to school right up the road here at Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks. Was a huge star in high school and chose to go to Michigan and suffered a badly broken leg and worked his way back from it. Just over the 35-yard line, call it the 36. It's 3rd down and 8. Another passing down for John Navarre.
And the way the Bruins have been playing defense, it's been aggressive. They could come with the blitz.
They got some pressure in his face, but he hung in there, and he's a big guy at 6'6", 240, and he sort of wheeled it sidearm to the sidelines, and the pass is completed to Marquise Walker.
He's a cool customer in there. He waited. They did not come with the blitz. He felt that, stayed in the pocket as long as he could. Joe Hunter was playing soft in the nickel package. They were ready for the pass. Look at the time he's got. He just sits, he waits, and you see Hunter now sitting off. Ball's well thrown, and Walker makes the catch with his feet inbounds.
So it's first down on the 47-yard line of Michigan. Walker is the man in motion. Navarre turns, bumps into Anthony Thomas, and falls down. So there was a collision in this backfield between the quarterback and the running back. Stan Parrish is the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for the Michigan Wolverines, and he said this yesterday about young John Navarre.
He's got a calmness about him. Some players you have to coach into being calm. He's got a lot of mannerisms that are a lot like Brady and Greasy, to be honest. You know, and I think he has seen that. That legacy's been handed down at our place.
2nd down and 9. He hung in there pretty well that time. Pass is thrown to the sidelines, intended for Terrell. It is incomplete. Beyond his reach is Jason Bell. Covers on the play for UCLA.
Stan Parrish is with Navarre every single day in practice and in all the meetings, so he knows from whence he speaks when he talks about the calmness. But this is the first opportunity this year that we've seen Navarre play in person. And with guys flying around him, and you have to believe the game today is a lot faster than it has been the first 2 weeks, he's shown a great calmness.
9:23 to go in the first quarter of play. No score in the ball game at the Rose Bowl. The ball is sitting squarely on the 48 now. Somehow it moved a bit. Navarre back, gets it to the sidelines again, and this one is badly overthrown. There was double coverage over there on Marquise Walker, and John may have done exactly what he wanted to do. Get rid of it, don't give it up. So here's the punt coming from Epstein, and it's Freddie Mitchell back to receive the punt, this time rather than Ricky Manning. Hot day. You got to save as much as you can. That snap was low, but it's handled by Epstein, and Freddie Mitchell is taken down right at about the spot where he caught the ball. Justin Fargus, who's a flyer, was downfield to make the tackle. So the Bruins now have relatively poor field position back on the 7-yard line. City. Here are the Bruins now in be careful country from the 7-yard line. McCann looking to pass, got a lot of protection, but downfield everybody's covered, and he pulls it down, throws it away. He lost the football as he was going to the sidelines, and there's a penalty flag thrown on the sideline.
Well, they're going to say it was a pass, I believe, and that it was across the line of scrimmage.
I think he just lost control of it.
I think you're exactly right.
But they're going to call it illegal forward pass. I don't know but what the Michigan man might not have knocked it out of his hand, but that's the call, is illegal forward pass.
Well, let's take a look at it. Here he starts to scramble. Now the new rule says he can throw it away here if he wants. Once he's outside the tackles, he fakes the pass, and then, well, his arm was moving forward. They had to make that call. That's a good call. He was across the line of scrimmage. See watch his left arm right here. Boom.
They're just trying to throw it away and didn't realize exactly where he was. So that ball will, with the penalty, will go back inside the 5-yard line now to the 4. And you lose the down on that call, so it's 2nd down and 13. Bruins are digging themselves a hole here. They give it to Deshaun Foster. He isn't going anywhere. Michigan all over him.
I think he lost a yard.
Eric Bracken's got him behind the line of scrimmage. The big junior from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Big old offensive line's not getting any penetration. Watch this. You see white jerseys. They're shooting the gaps. Everybody now is stemming. They're coming off the corners of the linemen, shooting the gap, and they had good penetration. That forced him to go wide. Then you had the contain man there. Good defense by Michigan.
Fresno State gave UCLA some trouble with that very tactic last week. Almost pulled out a ball game against them. It is 3rd down and 14 now. McCann out of the end zone. Passes away and almost picked off. The only man who really had a chance to catch it was James Whitley, and he couldn't. He dropped it. So the Bruins now must punt from deep in their own end zone.
Boy, UCLA got away with one there. That was a pick. Should have been picked off. Ryan McCann knew it when he released it. Poor read. Terrible throw.
Fixie is in. Nate standing as deep as he can get. Bellamy's waiting. field position. Coming up for Michigan right here if he handles the ball. That's a great kick. I mean, that's huge. It runs him all the way back inside the 25-yard line. It's going to roll dead at the 23-yard line of Michigan. An enormous punt out of the back of the end zone by Nate Fixie. A 75-yard net punt. Holy smokes. Fixie a game ball right now. 74 yards officially from the back of his end zone. And he puts Michigan back on the 23-yard line. And the Wolverines now come out. Obviously, you have to be a little stunned at how far he gets that ball. Here comes the pressure, but he sets up a screen pass, and he's got some room for it. The pursuit will bring down Anthony Thomas up at the 32-yard line. Now the Dell Game Solutions for Michigan are for... from the 32-yard line. Second down and 1 for the Wolverines. They go inside looking for it with B.J. Askew, and it is close. Now, Bob Toledo's answer on Dell Game Solutions from the UCLA perspective involves the Michigan defense.
We need to put pressure on Navarre, and we got to do a good job of covering the receivers when they're going to throw it to them.
Well, they've done that today too, Keith. They're getting some pressure on Navarre. They're showing him a lot of different looks. They're bringing some blitzes. They're using their safeties and cheating them up in what we used to call banjo. They're like extra linebackers.
Third down and still 1. They've got the first down and then some. Anthony Thomas is gone. No flags behind him. They blew a hole for him. The linebackers were caught. The safeties were out of position. And Anthony Thomas goes 68 yards for a touchdown.
Boy, once he got through the line of scrimmage, there was nobody back there. We just talked about UCLA giving them different looks. Look at this. Look at all the guys. Here are your safeties. So everybody comes to stop the 1 yard. Now watch this. Everybody moves. Once he gets through the line of scrimmage, he's gone. Nobody back there. They gambled, high risk, high reward. Did not pay off for UCLA.
The point. Missed it. They missed the extra point. Epstein doesn't miss extra points, but he missed that one. And so Michigan is out in front 6-0 on the 68-yard run by Anthony Thomas.
Boy, UCLA cheated up everybody they had to that line of scrimmage. They knew they were going to run and still couldn't stop it. And there was nobody back there in the safety position because they were cheated up in what they like to call thunder and lightning. They had them up there as linebackers. Boy, once he's back there, too, he's got great speed for a big guy. He's 6'2", 225, but he can flat out fly. Thomas just became the 6th running back at the University of Michigan to gain 3,000 yards in his career.
That is his 41st career touchdown in 39 games. So he's concluding a brilliant career in the maize and blue. And you take a chance sometimes and it blows up in your face. Did there for the Bruins defense.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Bruins react now. They fell behind Alabama 7-0, but fought back.
Tab Perry and Jermaine Lewis are waiting back near the goal line for UCLA. The kick is a low one, could be returned, and it's going to be returned by Tab Perry, who's in the middle of the field and wiggles his way out to about the 25-yard line before they finally bring him down. So college football on ABC Sports being brought to you by Dodge. In a perfect world, everything would be different. Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money, get well connected. By Dell, providing the infrastructure to power your e-business. And Burger King. Got the urge? Make it officially the 26th as he was able to get across. He got in behind that wedge and just kept on hanging on. And they carried him about 3 or 4 more yards to get him out to the 26. It is Freddie Mitchell picture. And McCann back, looks right at him, throws it to him. He shakes one and got an extra 3 or 4 yards out of the play. He's out of bounds at the 41-yard line, and now let's join John Saunders at Times Square Stadium. First down for the Bruins. The ball is up on the 41. They go to Deshaun Foster. Foster is hit behind the line of scrimmage by number 17, Larry Foote. Foote leads the Wolverines in tackles with 10. He now has 11 and 9 solos.
You know, we've seen Zeke Moreno of USC, Jason Sykes this year, Robert Thomas. Larry Foote is right in that same category. He comes, look at the penetration he gets. Again, he's shooting the gap. I heard the word gap integrity, another one of those new phrases they're using in football. He got through the gap and made the play.
Bruin shaken up on the play. Matt Stanley down on the field. Time taken for him on ABC Sports presentation of Monday Night Football.
He's got to pick up blitzes. He didn't do that against Fresno State. He's got to go through the progression and throw on time, and that's what Bob Toledo's talking about. It was not done last week. It's his third position. He's played middle linebacker, quarterback, and fullback, so he now comes in to take Stanley's place.
So now Michigan's defensive units had a good long time to rest, get their breath, and ponder things. And now here comes the Bruins back to the attack. Deshaun Foster is the deep man. Wally Dixon is the wideout at the top of the picture. McCann's pass comes this way, and it's not a very good pass. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage, apparently, by Larry Foote. And Freddie Mitchell had no chance to get to it.
You know, this front seven of Michigan was ravaged by graduation, and everything appeared to be solid against Bowling Green, solid against Rice. Now they come in against UCLA. And you mentioned their quickness, but they're also very smart. They're reading what McCann's doing. He's leading them with their eyes. Foote just jumped up there and got a hand on him.
Now they go to 3rd and 11. Here comes the nickel package in for the Wolverines because they anticipate pass. Coming from the backside. McCann better hurry. He gets it off. It's caught on the sidelines by Dubravak. And when Dubravak comes to the ground, it's an incomplete forward pass.
Watch this, another one of those discussions with the officials, and it would happen right in front of the Michigan bench. He waits as long as he can, but watch the feet of Dubravak. Watch his right foot. Right foot on the line before the left one hits. Out of bounds. Good call.
So it's 4th down as the ball comes back to the 40. Time remaining in the first quarter, 5 minutes and 54 seconds. And Fixie will be into the game to punt for the Bruins. A 74-yarder out of his end zone the last time. Ronald Bellamy back to return it for the Wolverines. He is a sophomore from New Orleans. Snap is good. The kick is away. It doesn't have the carry of the previous one. And he made the catch and he eluded one man and got a pretty good little return out of it. Michigan will have the ball up around the 33-yard line. Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, 12.
Key, that's right about now for the defense. Been on the field about 18, 19 plays. They start to feel the heat.
Back goes Navarre. Throws, trying to set up a little swing pass out there and screen it to his running back, but the ball was thrown too high. Bruins haven't really planted him yet, but they're trying.
Well, right now, Michigan is letting the speed of UCLA run the Bruins out of the play. Very well designed, little play action, come back, try to set the screen and let their guys just run out of it.
A 68-yard touchdown burst is the difference in the ball game, with Michigan leading 6-0. They missed the extra point. Navarre didn't come off the snap cleanly with the ball and missed the handoff and has to carry it himself, and he'll get it out to about the 36. Here's Todd Harris.
Well, Keith, prior to the game, I talked with Drew Henson, Michigan's injured quarterback, and he was actually out on the field fielding punts for the punter. So he said, how's the foot feel? He says, fine. He expects to start next week. He thought it was best to sit out this game. Meanwhile, Matt Stanley, they have cut away his jersey, something with his right shoulder, but they are taking it very cautious. Keith?
All right, Todd. It wasn't Drew's decision.
he was fighting to play today.
Yeah. 3rd down and 7. Navarre's pass thrown quickly to David Terrell, and he's going to have the first down at the 45-yard line. Big guy, 6'6", stood up. He could see the whole countryside from that height. He just popped it right out to his man.
Well-designed play. It's tough to stop. It's just a slant. UCLA trying to bracket this thing. Watch, they've got Manning on one side, then they bring over their safety. They got him doubled, but by that time, playing soft, they have enough for the first. That's a tough play to stop, even if you're in man coverage.
Single back set. Argus with the ball, bouncing outside. Great speed, but he can't get to the corner as UCLA comes and gets him.
I want to tell you, Keith, Marcus Anderson is playing a terrific ball game. We saw him really force Navarre to throw an incompletion earlier. We saw him force a fumble. Now watch him string this play. This is him all the way to the right side of your screen, just out of the picture. Here he comes now. String it out. Fight the blocker. String it out even further. Now jump the running back and get him to the ground. Grab cloth any way you can. Get him there. Great play by Marcus Anderson. What a game he's playing.
Second down, 11. Argus out. Thomas in. Far back to the near side. Pass incomplete. Pass was intended for Calvin Bell. Ricky Manning defending.
Wolverines throwing just enough that it's going to open things up for Anthony Thomas, because that time UCLA was in a nickel defense and a run play there would have worked.
See the numbers on Navarre here in the first quarter. He came in leading Division 1A in quarterback efficiency. He's looking at a little different folks this week. 3rd and 11. Pressure. Stepped away from the blitz. Throws it deep, and it is incomplete. David Terrell went as high as he could. Again, it was Marcus Anderson, the man that was going downhill at the Michigan quarterback.
I'll tell you what, everybody will look at the defensive backs and say, hey, they broke up the pass, but the play was made by number 7. They came with the blitz, and again, Marcus Anderson continues to put pressure on him. He misses the tackle, but he makes him step up, actually lost the ball on its handle there, and he throws a flutter here now, a dead duck, out in the direction of Terrell. By this time, they're in zone coverage. They've got him front and back. The ball is just hanging in the air and almost picked off.
Here's the punt by Epstein. Very short. Does take a Michigan roll, and it's going to roll inside the 20 and dead at the Bruin 18-yard line. When ABC Sports got college football full-time in its contract, we've had it every year since. And some of the memories that have accumulated and the anecdotes and stories across the years of the great players are all reflected in that book. And the ball is fumbled forward and recovered by the UCLA Bruins. Deshaun Foster had the good fortune to have the ball bounce right back to him. That's the second time he's lost it.
This time there was no contact either. He's hitting himself saying, my bad. Watch this. All right, here he comes. Ball's already loose. Nobody touches him, but he gets it back. So he's put the ball on the ground twice. He's gotten one back. He lost one.
Picked up 6 yards on the bouncing fumble, and Jermaine Lewis replaces him at tailback for UCLA. So it'll be second down and 4. McCann throws quickly, got it away. Pass completed to Uremius Stensbury out of the backfield, and the Bruin fullback will give UCLA a first down with that catch. And again, Todd Harris.
Keith, the news isn't good for UCLA. Matt Stanley, the fullback, has sustained a separated right shoulder, and obviously he is done for the day. Back to you.
Boy. Can't make it through the early season without a bunch of injuries, can they? There's so many of them. Big players, and they hit hard. You want to get some kind of a call here on that play, I would think. Ball is thrown upfield to Brian Fletcher, the tight end. You've got a penalty flag on both sides of the field. Either Michigan was offsides or one of the Bruins moved. If it's against Michigan, they'll take the play.
And I think it will be. It looked like they jumped on the count, tried to anticipate it.
Offside. Deep. Penalties refused.
So for the first time today, UCLA is on the Michigan side of the field.
That's only the third first down.
Time remaining in the first quarter, 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
We'll tell you this, I think McCann has looked a little bit sharper on this drive than he has in the first few.
Put the ball on the Michigan 48. Shotgun. Hand it off. Lewis. Turning back inside. Number 28 was the first man to get a piece of him, Anthony Jordan for the Wolverines. A linebacker.
If McCann can be patient, hit a couple of more of those passes, that too, just like we said about Michigan, will open up the running game. They've got to get those guys out of the box, and you're starting to see that now, where they started with 7, 8, even 9 one time in the box. Tackle to stop the run. Now they're starting to spread out a little bit.
Second down and 9. Nobody behind him. Backward pass. Coley Dixon wants to throw it. Gets it off. It's caught. Dubrovac makes the catch down at the 15-yard line.
They worked on this play this week. Somebody at practice put it on the internet. Bob Toledo told us we're going to run it anyway, even if they know it's coming. Paulie Dixon, 6'5". Everybody knows Freddie Mitchell can throw it, but how about Paulie? So Paulie puts it right out there. Perfect pass, almost a touchdown, and he'd been able to turn the corner. He had people flying at him too, Keith. Showed a lot of poise. Actually threw the ball while he was falling backwards.
And it's first down UCLA at the Michigan 15-yard line. Lewis up the middle. Spytek made the first hit on him. He got it down near the 11-yard line, so he got close to a good 3 yards on it, 3.5.
You know, partner, you got to appreciate Bob Toledo's approach to the game. I mean, he wants to have fun with his kids. He makes it fun. He puts in a lot of wrinkles like that. Double passes, throwbacks, reverses. And the offensive team likes that and actually thrives on that.
Single back will be Lewis, Jermaine Lewis. Coley Dixon is back in the lineup. Lewis running it, shook one. Cuts back inside of maybe the 7-yard line as Brackens and Spytek bring him down. Jermaine Lewis is only 5'7" tall, but he's wide. He weighs 178 pounds. A senior from Lancaster, California.
He's a good changeup runner. You've got Foster, who's 6'1", 208 pounds. He's had a tough time, just 6 carries, 9 yards. So they bring in Lewis. Lewis, as you mentioned, 5'6.5", 5'7". He hides behind those big linemen. Hide and seek runner. Seeks the hole. He's tough to find defensively.
They're going to let the clock run down at the end of the first quarter. So after 1 at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, it's Michigan 6. UCLA threatening when we come back. It is third down and 2 for the UCLA Bruins at the Michigan 7-yard line. It's actually closer to the 8 than the 7, but under the rules, you always factor in the next yardage marker.
You saw where UCLA's 0 for 3 on third down conversions today, too, but that all changes down here.
Drew Bennett comes into the ball game for UCLA. He's in at quarterback. They've got an option package with him. He turns. He gives the ball away to Deshaun Foster, and whistles were sounding before the ball was snapped, I believe. Drew Bennett, who was a quarterback and then went to wide receiver, very good athlete, going in for an option package, handing it off to Foster, and didn't work.
Oh, this is going to make that third down tough.
False start, offense. 5 yards previous. Still third down.
See, it all changes now. It's against UCLA, so they move them back.
New quarterback, new sound. It's hard to keep your poise.
A lot of movement out there. By this time, the play was already whistled dead. They tried to get him on in a hurry. They put in a whole package for him, including the option. But you got to stay still.
You got McCann back in there at quarterback now. Line back, and he's looking at third down and 7. Umpire Walt Wolf stepping in to stop play because the referee was over on the sidelines. Checking the play clock. They wanted to reset it. Now they do. And here we go.
Keith, UCLA ought to look for their tight end down here.
That's Freddie Mitchell in motion. Ken gets it off in a hurry, and it's dropped. You got your tight end. Krishan had it on his hands and didn't reel it in.
I was wide open. The ball was delivered late and high. It's a perfect setup for Gabe Krishan, the tight end. They've got to recognize this. They're bringing the blitz with foot. They take the tight end. They put him right into the vacant area. You throw it in front of him. He's wide open. You've got the first down.
All is behind him. And now they'll go for 3. It'll be a 29-yard field goal try by Chris Griffith, sophomore from Gardnerville, New York. Kicks in the air, and it's good. So the Bruins do get on the scoreboard. At 14:52 to go in the first half. It's now a 6-3 ball game. Michigan leading on a 100-degree day in Pasadena, California. 6-3 ball game with UCLA kicking off to Michigan after going 70 yards for their field goal. Ball's in the air. Into the deep corner of the end zone. It will not be returned by Walter Brooks. College football on ABC Sports brought to you by Chevrolet. If only everything was as dependable as a Chevy. The most popular place is around the cool zone right now. Oh, it's hot there. From the 20 now for Michigan. Anthony Thomas will be the tailback. John Navarre hasn't completed a lot of passes, but he's held up very well so far. Handed off to Thomas. And Anthony, who had the 68-yard bolt for the touchdown, will pick up on that play about 5. And let's go to Times Square Stadium in New York City.
Bob Davey hanging on, making things happen.
Yes, he is indeed. 2nd down and 5 for Michigan. Ball is handed again to the tailback. And again, the big guy will pound his way up to about the 29-yard line before Marcus Anderson and Kenyon Coleman can wrestle Anthony Thomas down. Thomas is 6'2", about 221 or 203. He's from Winfield, Louisiana, and he's a senior.
Boy, he's just starting to bang at him, too. They're starting to really pound him in there. And, of course, most of his yards came on that one big run of over 60 yards, but he now has 7 carries and 84, so he's starting to get him little by little.
3rd down and 1. Didn't get it. Didn't get it. They got great penetration. Tony White was in there in a hurry along with Anthony Fletcher and Sean Phillips.
Just watch the line of scrimmage. Watch the gold hats. They get penetration. Establish a new line of scrimmage a yard deep in the Michigan backfield. Let the linebackers fill. Anytime you can do that in short yardage or goal line, you're going to succeed. Great stop by the Bruins.
Now the Bruins should get pretty good field position out of this. Ricky Manning is waiting for it. Epstein to punt it. He gets some air under this one. Max Manning up to the 25. Ricky's away from 1, away from 2. The 3rd guy got him. He's going down. The ball was fumbled. Michigan recovers it at the 29-yard line of UCLA. Justin Fargas knocked the ball out. So the Bruins are having trouble holding on to the football today.
What a great story Fargas is. California guy, one of the top 2 running backs. Broke his leg, fights back to play again. Now watch his right arm. He pulls it out of there. Watch this. Just strips it away from Manning. He does that on pure strength.
And Dan Rumashek covers it. And so Manning coughs it up, and Michigan makes the break. The ball is at the UCLA 29. 1st down for the Wolverines. They lead 6-3 as we begin the 2nd quarter of play. Chris Perry is in the backfield for Michigan now. Playing a lot of people on a hot day. Navarre back to throw. Goes to the end zone. Touchdown, David Terrell. The great size of Terrell and Walker.
Keith, we talked about this at the top of the game. Terrell, 6'3½". He's working against shorter defensive backs, both 5'9", 5'10". The ball's thrown high. He goes up and gets it. That's a mismatch jump ball. Terrell with a touchdown.
And the point try by Epstein now. Out of the hold of Navarre. It's good. And so Michigan, in the early going of the second quarter, 12:35 to go in the half, goes to the lead by 10, 13-3. A brilliant reception and a very good pass equal 7 points. Justin Fargas knocked the ball away from Ricky Manning. Wolverines recovered it and then cashed in on the pass to David Terrell, leaping over the defenders between two of them to make the catch. Ball caught on a bounce by Tab Perry. Perry had a little daylight and got it back across the 25 to the 28-yard line. The Aflac trivia question, this week's question: who was the last, or which was, not which was the last team to defeat the two top three teams in a regular season? Which was the last team to beat two top three teams in the regular season?
Referring, of course, to UCLA having beaten Alabama, which was ranked 3rd, and then playing Michigan today, which is ranked 3rd.
But they're getting whooped right now by 10 points.
Yeah, they really are. And you know where they're getting whooped? They're getting whooped in the trenches. Navarre is only 4 of 11, but he had the big strike there, so it makes it look a lot better.
Out of the shotgun now. McCann turns, throws quickly to Foley Dixon, and Foley Dixon is gang tackled. Not much, maybe a yard.
Give a lot of credit to that Michigan defense, too, because the way they swarm to the football, it almost looks like they have 12, 13, 14 guys on the field. Getting those maize and blue hats all over the football.
Well, Jim Herman's got him breathing fire right now, that's for sure.
Sure does.
Jim. Wearing a hat, too, thank goodness. Left-hander rolls out and throws to the sidelines, and it is give him a catch. Just beyond the marker. Freddie Mitchell.
Yeah, Freddie did a nice job of dragging his feet. Again, the ball was not thrown on time. McCann's releasing it late. He's got to get that ball to him on the break. Now watch this. Here's Freddie Mitchell, who runs a great pass pattern. Boom. He's even right there, so now he's leaving. The ball should be right there waiting for him. It's thrown almost out of bounds, but Freddie does a great job dragging his feet. Big time catch, and they move the chains.
To the 39-yard line for a first down.
He's talented. Wow.
Deshaun Foster. Michigan knows where Deshaun is every step of the way so far today. Brandon Williams got him out of bounds.
Well, you don't have to be a Phi Beta Kappa to know that UCLA was going to try to get it to Foster as much as possible. He had 180 yards against Alabama, another 140-some last week. The guy's been on a tear and put himself in a Heisman race, and all of a sudden they're going to say, hey, we're going to make McCann beat us because we're going to stop Foster. He has 7 carries and only 14 yards.
Cincinnati's trying to beat Wisconsin for the second straight year. They sat a whole bunch of people today, including Michael Bennett. They used him against Oregon last week to pull out a win. They set him down today because of all those suspensions, and they're having trouble. Michigan eats up that UCLA running play. Going to be a loss on the play. We're at 11:25 to go in the first half. Larry Stevens stepping in to make the hit for Michigan.
Boy, watch Stevens, too, number 13. Here he comes right up at the top of your screen, comes through the gap. It's just kind of a brush block. He's right on the corner waiting for him, and a perfect tackle as he gets leverage through his legs and puts the Deshaun Foster on his back.
That's the 4th time in the ball game so far that Deshaun Foster has been held to negative yardage. It is now 3rd down and 7, and they've got 3 wideouts. 2 to the bottom of the picture. Now 3 as the tight end moves over. Pressure coming. They're trying to set up a screen, and I don't know what that amounted to. There's a penalty flag on the field.
Well, they're going to say he did not get out of that 5-yard area where he can throw it away. They had the screen covered. and Ryan McCann tried to throw it away. Under the new rule, if you get outside the tackles, it's like the NFL, you can, and that's what Bob Toledo's telling the officials. But they're going to say, no, he wasn't outside the tackles.
You go straight back from the center, 5 yards either way, under the new rule, you can throw the ball in the stands.
That's exactly right, and that's what UCLA is claiming, that he was outside that 5-yard area.
Well, he picks it up.
There is no foul on the play. The ball across the line of scrimmage outside the 5-yard belt. It'll be a 4th down.
So he said he was outside the 5-yard belt. That was the call. Here's your 5 yards right here. All right, now roll it and see if he gets out there. It's basically tackle to tackle. Pretty much the same rule as the NFL. He rolls, it's covered. Now he rolls, he's outside that line right now. No question about it. They pick up the flag.
As long as he throws it across the line of scrimmage, he can throw it anywhere. But it's still 4th down for the Bruins. They don't do much with that possession, and Fitz is in to punt it. And it's a spinner hanging up there and forcing a fair catch call by Ronald Bellamy. So Wolverines will have the ball back on their 16-yard line. Coming up on Valvoline Halftime 2000, John Saunders, Terry Bowden, scores and highlights from around the country. And we've already had one great big surprise today, as Notre Dame beats Purdue. At least that's a surprise to me. The Irish spent a lot last week in the ball game against Nebraska.
Well, they're starting to make believers out of me. The way they played against Nebraska, then coming back and getting a win today off of that defeat, that's pretty impressive.
And Yale beat Dayton today to win their 800th game in Eli history. Michigan started today with 798 wins, the top number in Division 1A. Ball is handed inside to Anthony Thomas, and the Bruin defense turns him back after 2 yards. There's the all-time win mark. Notre Dame is 3rd, Nebraska 4, and Princeton 5. Of course, Yale and Princeton in the Ivy League 1AA now.
Go ahead, Keith. Give us a little bula bula.
Oh, there you go. Get my raccoon coat out when the frost comes.
And your pom-pom.
And remember Pudge. Ball goes back, whipped to the sideline, and Terrell makes the catch, but he's just short of the marker, and it'll be a yard to go as they bring it back.
I'm surprised how much room UCLA has given the receivers. I mean, they ought to be challenging Navarre to put it right in there. So far he has, but Ricky Manning's sitting off. Here comes the pass. It's just an out pattern. They got to play a little bit tighter. They got to challenge the receivers a little bit more. Boy, Navarre throws a nice pass, though, doesn't he?
She does. They've got Andy Minery behind him and Jermaine Gonzalez, another freshman, waiting for his chance to play. So they're pretty deep at tailback and also at quarterback. With Drew Henson probably coming back against the Illini next week down in Champaign. That's Chris Perry carrying the ball. In at tailback, and Navarre, I guess it was, kept it to pick up the first down. When you're 6'6", 242, and you can manage to fall through the crack, you're going to gain a couple of yards no matter what happens.
Absolutely. You know, we mentioned earlier that he leads the nation in passing efficiency. He also was the Big Ten Player of the Week, and you're right, he's strong. Stan Parrish said he's calm, and so far he is in full command of this offense, and he's being patient. We mentioned he's only 4 of 11, but he's being patient and playing with confidence.
First and 10 at the 27-yard line. Handed off to the tailback. This is Chris Perry, a freshman from Advance, North Carolina. 228 pounds, a thump. He's going to be a good one. Ricky Manning brought him down.
And if Manning doesn't bring him down, he's gone. It's another one of those situations where Manning is the last guy there. Here he is and takes him low. At that point, you got to pretty much take him solid, but he took his legs out. Otherwise, he's history. He's in the end zone. Ricky Manning's got some arms on him, doesn't he? We sat and talked to him the other day. They look like they're ready to burst.
Look like a tree, hickory tree. Navarre's pass right on the hands again. Benny Japrou, the tight end, makes the catch, picks up the first down, move the chains for the Wolverines. And we're off to Times Square Stadium. It's too, isn't it? Well, First down for Michigan, handed off to the first man, and a big hole for B.J. Askew. He pops it over to the right side for about 6 yards. Earlier we asked you the Aflac trivia question, which was the last team to defeat two top 3 teams in a regular season? The answer is
Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame. 1993, they beat Florida State and Michigan.
Right now, you can almost feel it. Michigan just wearing down that UCLA defense. The Bruins have been on the field an awful lot this first half.
Second down and 4. And penalty flags. As the ball comes to the line of scrimmage, very little gain on the play by Askew. He's a sophomore out of Cincinnati. Came to Michigan as a tailback. One of the things about during the time of Lloyd Carr, his coaching staff, they move people around. It's offside. It's against the Bruins, and it's going to be a first down. It is second down and 4. There'll be a 5-yard penalty, and it'll put Michigan on the UCLA side of the field.
Bruins just killing themselves here. Turnovers, penalties. Had a touchdown called back when Ricky Manning took a punt all the way.
Well, you get tired. Fatigue kicks in. You make mistakes.
That was a great lick, too, by Robert Thomas, and now it is now negated. They move the sticks for the first down.
Anthony Thomas goes back into the tailback position for Michigan. Ball on the UCLA 49-yard line. Navarre looks to throw. Pass is incomplete. Thrown for Marquise Walker, defended by Jason Bell. Good coverage by Bell.
Boy, he tightened the coverage, too. We were talking about the corners playing soft. Wow, he was tight, put a good lick on him, and it was timed perfectly to knock it loose.
Todd, how you holding up? Want to borrow my hat?
Todd Harris down there where it's about a zillion degrees.
Second down and 10 for the Wolverines. Handed off to Thomas. He took some punishment. Number 92, Steve Morgan, came across with Robert Thomas. Pow.
You know, Ryan Neese had this play made. Here's the handoff. It's a delay. Now watch, here comes Thomas, or Neese rather, flying in there, and he misses the tackle. Then the pursuit gets him, and it sets up a 3rd and long, but they could have had that for a loss had Ryan Neese made the tackle and wrapped him up.
3rd down and 8. Intercepted, no. Dropped. Right on the hands of Jason Zdenek, and he had an awful lot of hot air and Santa Ana wind in front of him, but he couldn't hold it.
Not a good pass by Navarre, obviously. He led him over there with his eyes, never looked off, and threw it right when Zdenek broke on the ball. That should have been picked off, could have been 6 for the Bruins. Boy, look at this. He leads him right over there. Look at his head. Never looks off, throws right where he's looking, and there's Zdenek. Really, I think, was shocked that it came right to him.
So the Wolverines will punt it. Epstein wants it high and wants to hang it up there and kill it deep. And he's done a good job of it, except it takes a great big bounce back up the field. And it'll be up around the 19-yard line of UCLA when the Bruins come back for the attack, with Michigan leading 13-3. Well, the Jason Zdenek, what might have been. Navarre, happy it wasn't. Both of them involved in a bit of a miscue, a badly thrown ball, and then Jason not holding it.
I think Zdenek is in shock that he didn't catch it.
Put the ball on the 19-yard line for the Bruins. Jermaine Lewis is the tailback. And it's 13-3 Michigan. Lewis with the ball. And so give him 5. On ABC for this one, but right now both teams are trying to find a way to crank up for the season. Dallas and Washington on ABC's Monday Night Football. Second down. Nothing doing for Lewis this time. So they'll be looking at third down and about 4.
Bob Toledo trying to change things up again and putting Jermaine Lewis in there, the little jitterbug change up back, and they're just trying to stimulate something, just trying to get something going.
Yale wins 800. How about that? Maybe giving Georgia Tech all they want to, and Pitt out over Penn State early. 3rd and 4 from the 25. For UCLA, shotgun. Pressure coming. McCants passes away. The pass is incomplete. Dubravak couldn't hold it.
Well, they knew they were going to pass. They knew they had to pass. They came out in the shotgun and showed pass. But the ball should have been caught. Dubravak is the second guy in. Watch this. Just runs a little hook. Separates. Here he comes. The ball's waiting. He's got to make that catch. He lets it get too close to him and bounces off his chest plate. Incomplete.
Michigan should come out of this with pretty good field position unless Fixie hits another one of those moonshots. He had a 74-yarder out of his end zone back in the first quarter. A spectacular punt. He hits it from the 14-yard line. Pretty good kick. He runs Bellamy back to the 28. He's got some room. And comes back to the 45, and here's a penalty flag. 1, 2, 3 flags. The referee is Gordon Reese in the white hat. Against Michigan, pushing the back.
That'll help UCLA, obviously, because Michigan had great field position. Right now, UCLA just trying to hold on here. It's only 13-3, but it's been all Wolverines here in the first half.
That is the first Michigan penalty of the ballgame. Pretty good stuff. 5:20 to go in the first half.
I will tell you this, partner. Michigan is too good a football team for UCLA to be given the gifts they've been given.
No, they don't need any help.
They had that touchdown called back with a block in the back. They've lost the ball twice on fumbles. They are not making catches that should be made. You can't do that against a team like Michigan.
Justin Fargas is back in there at tailback. And he's got it. Watch his speed. And cannot get around the corner. Oh, I tell you what, that's a pretty good lick from Ricky Manning.
He's got pretty good speed, too.
Ricky wasn't having any part of that. He's from Fresno, and as we told you, Fargas played right up the road here in Sherman Oaks at Notre Dame.
You know, one of the toughest things to teach a cornerback is how to come up, read your keys, and come up on the run quickly, because they're afraid that they may get thrown on behind them if they come up. Well, he read his keys. He's a big-time player.
Yeah, but Fargas is the guy that pulled the ball out from under Ricky. It caused the punt that set up the touchdown, and I would imagine Ricky remembers it vividly. So whatever, the ball is at the 31-yard line, and back goes Navarre to play. Pitch and catch. Back to the original line of scrimmage.
And then he did.
And Ricky Manning now taking the bull by the horns. They're looking at third down at about 12 next Saturday. College football on ABC and others that are available. 34-yard line. Third down and 10. Out of the shotgun, Navarre. No pressure. Ball over the middle. And it's incomplete. Miscommunications there, I suspect.
Pretty good coverage by the Bruins. That was an outstanding defensive series. 2 big plays made by Ricky Manning. I think the second was even better than the first by Manning, and this time they had the receiver bracketed in Navarre. I think he actually threw that ball high and away because of the coverage.
Well, he's sitting on a 10-point lead, and I know the words are ringing in his ears. Don't give it to him. Don't help him. Pressure. The kick is away. There's no foul. And it's taken by Manning. And they chase him out of bounds up at the 36-yard line, where it'll be first down for the Bruins. Well, the man standing right on the 35 when they put him out. That was close to a foul. It was also close to being blocked.
Well, I want to tell you this. They did have a lot of pressure, and they were working on the block. The 2 Bruins ran into each other, and the official right there said absolutely no contact, no foul.
Time remaining in the first half is 3:37.
That's close, so that's one of the toughest things to do in football is to try to block a punt and stay off the foot of the kicker.
Deshaun Foster is the deep back. McCann back throws, and it is incomplete. Into the hands of Paulie Dixon, and Brian didn't hold it. That was a pretty well thrown ball there.
It sure was, and they threw it on the break. He threw it on time. Paulie Dixon, very rare that you'll see him drop this. Watch this. Now he runs him off, gives him the inside shake, boom, breaks to the outside. Here's the ball, and that's got to be caught. Very unlike Paulie to drop that. Fourth drop pass in the first half for the Bruins.
They're hanging around. Second down and 10. Got it away. And it is knocked out of bounds. Charles Drake blitzing. And he got right into the face of McCann and tipped the ball as it departed his hand, and it turned into a wounded goose that fluttered out of bounds.
Yeah, it sure did. The ball was almost picked off. Watch Freddie here. He'll become the defensive player. He's hit. The ball's fluttering now. Well, he took a pretty good lick. And UCLA now 0 for 6 on third down conversions, are faced with third and long again. Pretty good defense by Freddie Mitchell.
Try to buy a little time for him out of the shotgun. Pressure's coming. Steps away from it. Down the middle. No. Almost hooked up with Dubrovac. But the ball was just beyond his reach. Patman covering. And the Bruins will have to punt again.
Bob Toledo right now extremely frustrated with what's taking place. Dubrovac was open, and the ball is thrown too far out in front. But look, there's nobody within 5 yards of Dubrovac, and the ball's not there.
Sixth punt of the day for Nate Fixie. Long 74, short 38. All the others have been in the 40s. Wow, what a nice tight spiral on this one. Back to the 14-yard line. Look out. Now they double up on him and bring him down. Bellamy showing some speed, gets it out to about the 23-yard line. Now today's Courtyard by Marriott
Hotel last night. Came up to say hello to you, Mr. Jackson, before the ball game.
He's going to come visit, shoot the breeze with us in the third quarter. A man who is hardly ever without an opinion. 3:05 to go in the first half. Timeout on the field. We'll be back after this message. Football at the 23-yard line, making a first down and 10 for the Michigan Wolverines, leading by a score of 13-3. This ends the preseason for Michigan. Next week they start Big Ten Conference play at Champaign, Illinois, against a pretty good Illinois team. Then they come home for Wisconsin, and then they go to West Lafayette to play Purdue.
Pretty tough run.
Whoa. They play all the big boys too. They don't miss anybody. The middle, it's Anthony Thomas.
I've got to tell you, this has been no picnic today for Michigan. I mean, I know that UCLA's given them a lot of gifts, but they've fought hard 13-3, and it's just been a chip away at you type game for Michigan.
Well, they had that one big play. Thomas breaking 68 yards when UCLA went for the all-out gamble.
That was after a UCLA fumble.
Yep. And then after another Bruin fumble, they had the pass thrown by Navarro in between two defenders, with Terrell simply going up and beating him. Navarro back to throw it again to the sidelines, and that's another one that could have been picked off. It was well underthrown for Terrell. Marcus Anderson was the man over to get his hands on it, but couldn't hold it.
Well, Marcus Anderson that time's going to be just kicking himself. Again, that ball should have been picked off. Marcus normally makes that play. Again, he's looking right at him, and you see it. Terrell here has bracket coverage in front and back. The ball's underthrown. Marcus reads it perfectly. Anderson should have made the catch.
Keith Walk with a man in motion. Third down and long. They'll try the run. Doesn't work. Chris Perry, the freshman. And it'll be fourth down for Michigan. So both punters have been busy today. This will be the 7th punt for Hayden Epstein. A pretty good sized guy, 6'2", 200-pounder. From Cardiff, down the coast here in California. Now we got the proper number of people on the field. Epstein will hit the ball from around the 19. Didn't get all of it. Short off the side of his foot, but takes a horrendous bounce for the Bruins. Great bounce for the Wolverines. It rolls all the way down to the UCLA 18-yard line. The ball rolled at least 20 yards, maybe 25. Winds up a 53-yard punt at 1:21 to play in the first half.
There's a look at Scott McEwen. He's not warming up now, but last week they pulled out McCann. They put in McEwen. We've already seen Bennett come into the game. Drew Bennett came in for one short yardage play. There was a penalty. He came in at quarterback. Actually, that last series, I thought McCann threw the ball fairly well, had some drops.
There have been several drops in the ball game. Cincinnati still holding on. Less than a minute to play against Wisconsin. McCann rolls it back, has some time. Now throws upfield, and it is.
They're going to give him the catch. Now they're going to discuss it.
Freddie Mitchell in front of Charles Drake.
Back judge said yes. Side judge said no. He's got it.
Ruling is there's a catch on the field. Foot down.
Pretty good catch by Freddie Mitchell.
All right, that's a big play, Keith, because now they're up in that part of the field where they can start using this clock. Again, he waits, throws late. But watch, here's the catch, and here's the push. Foot down, left foot, you only need one in college, good call. But now they've got to use that clock effectively. It's 1:04 remaining in the half.
Timeouts, Bruins have 2. First down, 41-yard line, their side. McCann gets it in the air, and it's too long, out of bounds. Incomplete, intended for Dubravak.
That won't hurt you. You go under a minute. They all know that the sidelines can stop the clock. First downs, move the chain, stop the clock. They've got to be wise to that right now.
Well, he had what he wanted. He had Dubravak in man coverage. Couldn't deliver it.
Dubravak's a big target, too. He's 6'4".
57 seconds remaining in the first half. 13-3 ball game, Michigan. Blitz got him. Victor Hobson. Nobody picked him up. He had a free run at the Bruin quarterback.
Boy, and I will tell you something, that if they don't get him, UCLA got the matchup they wanted. They had Polly Dixon, who's 6'5", working against Todd Howard, who's 5'9". But the blitz comes, pays off. They come off the corner. Nobody picked him. Actually, the block was missed.
Well, that information, I think, came out of that Fresno UCLA game last week, because the Bulldogs did that a lot.
Voting.
Well, that play sort of buggered up things for the UCLA Bruins with only 50 seconds left to play. The Michigan Wolverines defense holding up very well on this hot day.
UCLA in this situation usually runs a draw or a screen, but they're coming out in shotgun.
Third and long. McCann gets it over the middle, and it is incomplete, almost intercepted. The only man that had a chance to catch it was the man in the middle for the Michigan defense, Larry Foote.
Well, again, he's looking down the middle, trying to get the ball in the middle of the two-deep zone when he had Paulie Dixon open out on the corner, but he never even looked off the receiver, and the ball was underthrown. That's a poor read and a poor throw.
So it's 4.5 miles, and they'll punt it 7 times now. Good kick. Both punters doing very well today, forcing the fair catch under the high drifting spiral at the 24-yard line, and 37 seconds remaining in the half.
Been a terrific first half for both defenses. Right now, UCLA's just got to hang on and melt this last 37 seconds off and just get into the house down by 10. One of those situations, Keith, if you're in that defensive backfield, you cannot let anybody behind you. As a matter of fact, if I'm Michigan, I just go ahead, melt those 37 seconds off the clock and take that lead.
Under the conditions, I would agree with you.
Sure.
Then on the other hand, I might just take one shot at it. But I think they're going to play it early and run the clock. That's more like my old friend Lord Carr. Get in the house with a lead. And we're showing 20 seconds remaining now. Michigan with a 10-point lead, a 68-yard touchdown run by Anthony Thomas, and it came on a burst right up the middle. And once he cleared the line of scrimmage, there wasn't anybody to get a hold of it.
Don't forget the fact that UCLA had a punt return for a touchdown called back. Otherwise, this would be a 13-10 game.
So they run the clock out. And they head for their respective locker rooms. And probably as cool as they dare make it, waiting for them. 13-3, Michigan leads by 10 at halftime at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Statistics.
Well, UCLA has given them a lot of breaks here. As a matter of fact, they've dropped 6 passes. They have 2 fumbles, 4 penalties. If you go down the bottom, time of possession is the big difference here. And right now, UCLA's defense starting to show it a little bit, showing a little bit of fatigue at the end of that first half. But the defense for the Bruins played well other than 2 big plays.
And they're hanging around. They're only 10 down. And they get the ball first to start the second half, except they'll have to bring it out to the 20 because that ball is almost kicked into the seats. Todd Harris a moment ago talked with UCLA coach Bob Toledo.
Holding onto the ball is going to be a mandate for the second half.
Well, the fumbles hurt us, obviously, and we turned it over, and then they scored on the first play on a pass. So, yeah, we got to hold on to the football. It's one of the keys to this game, and we got to score some points.
Final question: will we see a quarterback change anything in the second half?
Probably not. I'm going to let Ryan see if he can get this thing done.
Well, that's an interesting comment. He's been a little bit late through much of that first half. Here's the first snap of the second half. And he's going to throw it. And he puts air under it. And threw a balloon. I think he lost control of the ball.
Keith, take a look at the first half highlights because it'll pretty much show you the way this thing went. Ricky Manning gets stripped here on a return by Justin Fargas, who just rips the ball out of there. And then Michigan makes him pay right away. Navarre goes high to Terrell, and watch Terrell go over the short corners and make that catch. But for UCLA, we talked about it. They've been putting the ball on the ground, 2 fumbles. They've dropped balls all day, 4 on offense, 2 that should have been picked off on defense. And, of course, time of possession was big.
But that last pass that was thrown, Tim, couldn't have been very encouraging. Freddie Mitchell now becomes part of the story as he comes inside, but goes the other way to Paulie Dixon. And Brian will get it out across the 25 to the 26, where Brackens makes the tackle on him. Brian Paulie Dixon at 6'5", 216, is a big target. Running the ball back inside, trying to get some blocking help for him to pop it out, and couldn't do it.
Well, that'll help him, though, Keith. He threw that little pass earlier that you talked about, the first one, and it wasn't even close. It was a misread. So they come back with a high percentage pass, which might help build his confidence. That's what he has to do, is get to that controlled passing game.
They're taking Mike Safer off the field for UCLA.
Here's that pass we talked about. It's just a little throw under to Paulie Dixon, who tries to get up underneath the linebackers. High percentage pass.
So Safer's out of the lineup right now, and Blake Worley comes in to replace him. He's number 63. UCLA is 0 for 8 today on third downs. It's 3rd and 4. Ball thrown to the sidelines, and they finally convert one. Mitchell makes the catch. And they can move the chains after that one. He caught it in front of Todd Howard. Been a couple of times that Freddie has gotten away from Todd Howard. But each time that he has had a chance to make a big play out of it, the the ball hasn't been there.
They gave Ryan McCann that high percentage pass. They come back here. They give him another one. He throws it on time. He delivers it. They move the chains. First time they've converted on a third down this afternoon.
Now big old Mike Safer's back in there at 6'5", 311. Big fella from Tucson. And on first down from the 32. McCann still got it. Wants to go down the middle, and he does too long. Double coverage down there, too, and there's a penalty flag thrown. The penalty flag is thrown back where the ball was thrown by McCann. And then you got another one up at about 15 yards up the field. So they're going to sort them out here. Could be roughing the passer for one of the calls.
And then holding the receiver on the other one.
Yep. It could be a double foul, and Wisconsin comes back to beat Cincinnati with a field goal in overtime. Holding against Michigan, roughing the passer.
Well, here they're working on Paulie Dixon. Again, you got a size differential, and so they mug him coming off the line. He lost a step and said, hey, I'm grabbing jersey. You know, it's better to take the penalty than to give up a touchdown. And then here's the late hit. Here comes Wilson. Ball's gone. Oh, and that was really late. Really late. Keep in mind, it was a late hit that took Corey Paws out for the first half of this season against Alabama.
The late hit on the quarterback is the bigger of the penalties. And we'll move the football out to near the 48-yard line, where it'll be first down for UCLA. Early in the third quarter of play.
First half, UCLA had 4 penalties, 24 yards, and now Michigan starts off with 2 quick ones on one play.
They get to 47. That's where they finally located. Deshaun Foster is the deep man in the backfield. Matt Stanley is out with a separated shoulder, the fullback, starting fullback. McCann changing the play, letting the deep back know it. Foster gets it, goes into the stack, and Deshaun Foster will get it up to midfield for 3 yards where Hitley was the first man to get him. Next Saturday, ABC Sports, a full day. Next Saturday, many other games too. So check your local listings. Second down and 7 for the Bruins. Midfield. McCann runs away from a little bit of pressure. Now pulls it down. He's got some blocking. And he is finally knocked out of bounds. Pursuing and knocking him out is Evan Coleman. Believe me, that's a mismatch. A 269-pound defensive lineman pursuing the quarterback. You hold your breath.
Keith, this is the field position where UCLA and Bob Toledo now would open up the playbook. But with Ryan McCann in there at quarterback, he's had to simplify the game plan. And it's not very complicated right now. They don't have a whole lot of different things that they can go to.
The ball is on the Michigan side at the Wolverine 46. It's third down and 3. Foster has been quiet so far today. Gets it here. Cuts it back. Picks up his first down. That was a good cut back. And he'll move it down to the Wolverine 41, inside the 41 for the first down.
Best run by Foster today. Ran with authority. Wasn't tiptoeing through the hole, but exploded once he saw the crease. Foster just 10 carries, 21 yards. Been a long afternoon for him.
Ball on the 40, first down and 10 for UCLA. McCann still got it. Pressure. Gets it off. Incomplete. He threw into double coverage, trying to get the ball to Dubravak. And the other man going deep down the middle of the field. Mitchell, he was double covered.
Good pressure by Michigan, though, Keith. He was really just throwing that out of a survival mode. He was ready to be sacked.
Second down and 10. McCann's pass is Mitchell came back to get it. It was a terrible pass under pressure. The Michigan man ran too far underneath it. The ball floated over his head, and LeSueur couldn't reach it. So Mitchell came back and made the catch for a first down.
Boy, that's a break UCLA needed. That was a poorly thrown ball. Now look, the ball slips out of his hand and is just flying out here. Now here comes LeSueur, 21, breaking on the ball, saying, I've got the pick, but it just continues to float over his head. And there's Freddie. Freddie says, hey, hold on here. I've got the first down, and they move the chains. But that was an ugly looking pass.
Put it on the 25-yard line and a first down. So a little bit of luck there for UCLA. Deshaun Foster. And again, he gets a rather decent run out of it. And by the yards after contact, and you got a Michigan man down on the play.
Sean Foster started to run with some authority now.
That's Eric Wilson, defensive co-captain, who is down on the field for the Michigan Wolverines. And it looks like a leg.
Deshaun Foster now running with authority. Your guy, he's been playing extremely well.
Dave Petruzella will come in replacing him. He's a sophomore out of Mentor, Ohio. About the same size, but not anywhere near him in experience. Wilson has played all 4 years. He would have been a 4-year letterman. Will be when this season is done. California came back against Illinois and gave him a pretty good ball game, Timmy.
Sure did.
And look at TCU. First time in 40 years they've been ranked in the top 25. And they laid a licking on Northwestern. Second down and 2 for UCLA. Go back to Foster, and didn't work.
Sean Foster, Keith, in the first half, 8 carries, 12 yards. In this drive alone, 4 carries now and 17 yards. But that was one I thought they'd take a shot in the end zone on 2nd and short.
Instead, it's being second down and 2. They actually lost a little bit here. They call 3rd down and 2 now.
Down by 10, though, in the 3rd quarter. This becomes a 4-down area.
They've got to get inside the 15-yard line for the first down. Foster's a little deeper out of this formation. Bennett in on the short yardage option play, and Drew Bennett is belted, but he picks up the first down. So now here's UCLA in the 3rd quarter, 11 minutes and 16 seconds to go in the period, knocking on the door against the Michigan Wolverines, with Michigan leading 13-3. A sellout crowd on a 100+ degree day. It was 103 on the field when we started. They stretched the change out, and the crowd for the Bruins comes up with a cheer. The Michigan people, who admit to a cool summer, are getting their full dose of sun today.
Pretty evenly matched ball game throughout the first half. UCLA hurting itself with 6 dropped balls, 2 fumbles, and 4 penalties. 2 big plays for Michigan for the touchdowns. Other than that, it's been pretty even.
1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Deshaun Foster on a little delay, gets loose inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Charles Drake finally locked his legs and brought him down. That was a tough run by Foster.
Foster really starting to get it going now. Did not have many yards in the first half, but in this drive alone now, he's over 25 yards. Again, they show pass. They give it to Foster. He almost gets caught from behind by Curry, the safety, who came on the blitz. But then he gets up yardage after being hit twice, carries it down to the 6.
So it's 2nd down and a long one. Foster again on a sweep. Has some room. Touchdown. Uremia Stansbury, the fullback, led him into the end zone. A morale-boosting drive by UCLA to start the 2nd half of play. 14 plays, 80 yards, 4 minutes and 41 seconds.
Foster takes it around, gets a big block on the corner, and then just strides in. But it was 14 plays, as you said, 80 yards, impressive drive.
Griffith's point, good. It's a 3-point ball game. Michigan 13, UCLA 10. With 10. Well, the Bruin Partisans pretty happy about the way things are going at the moment. Coming off an 80-yard march for a touchdown, their first of the day. Now they will kick it away as Fixie steps up to hit it. Walter Cross and Justin Fargas are waiting for it for Michigan. It's a high hanger at the 2-yard line. Fargas. Big return for Fargas. He gets it out across the 30 to about the 35-yard line. Now let's bring in an old friend and a man who has provided some excitement in this old stadium. Bo Schembechler out here to watch the Wolverines play.
Nice to be here. Came at the wrong time, though. He just drove on us and scored.
Yeah, but that's why we asked you to come over here to give us some wisdom.
It's your kind of football game, though.
Well, don't get the idea I was coaching in the first half because I wasn't.
You love these defensive games, don't you?
Bo Schembechler, of course, the winningest coach in Michigan history, and this is a pivotal series now, I would think, wouldn't you, Bo, for UCLA?
Well, I think our quarterback's going to have to start hitting some passes here, and we started to establish a running game, but we don't. Then toward the end of the half, we kind of waned a little. Now UCLA's running the ball, and that's what you'd have to worry about.
Well, that 14-play drive gave the UCLA defense that extended break. They started to look tired at the end of the first half.
Well, I think we're tired now, really.
The gang tackle on Thomas and bring him down at the 40-yard line. So it'll bring up a 3rd down. The Old Mo, as I've said before, has no dignity. He changes clothes in public. Do you really feel that that a drive like that is a restorative thing?
This 3rd down play here is going to be important because I don't think our defense can go back out there. We had that long drive against us. It's extremely hot. Our 2 senior defensive linemen are out of it. This is a key play.
Yeah, losing Eric Wilson's a big factor, no question about it. 3rd down and 6 now for Michigan. Navarre back to throw. Time gets it away and missed his people. He threw right in between the 2 receivers. Nobody was close to the ball. He was getting pressure from Dave Ball. And now Michigan must punt it away, and it brings up that critical thing that we were talking about, where the Michigan defense has got to go back out on the field on a day when it's over 100 degrees.
I think that's tough, because at the end of that last drive, Keith, they started to miss some tackles. And that means that they're a little bit tired out there.
All right, here's some drama with Epstein ready to punt it and Ricky Manning waiting to receive it. And they're short of people on the field. Now they get the 11th man out there as Anthony Thomas.
Got to get that snap off down to 5.
The kick is away, and it's a beauty. His best of the day. Manning comes up and lets it go, and it goes through the end zone and beyond. It's a 60-yard punt by Epstein when they really needed it. So the punters have been heroic here so far today, with Fixie having hit a 74-yarder in the first half. Over to the Michigan defense to contain UCLA, and they have to do it without their defensive co-captain Eric Wilson, the big tackle, who's out there with ice on a knee.
Not only that, but they didn't get much of a break, Keith, after that 14-play drive. They were on the field a long time. Then it was 3 and out for the Michigan offense.
Now let's see whether or not the Bruins can continue to run the ball. That's Foster. He's bouncing outside. They got him by the hind leg, and they finally bring him down. And the ball seemingly came out, but they say nothing doing. It's on the ground. Let's go to Times Square Stadium in New York. To sit a lot of those guys that are in suspension, including Bennett, his big running back, and Fletcher, the great cornerback. McCann with a little play action, whips it away, and is it caught? No. It is incomplete, intended for Brian Fletcher.
Another one of those passes, Keith, that was right there, well thrown. Fletcher's got to hold on to it. He had it, just didn't pull it in.
Bo, you've been here so many times over your 21 years, including not only some regular season play, but the Rose Bowl as well. There are some stadiums that are hard to play in and some stadiums that are not so hard to play in. This would seem like it'd be a kindly place.
This is the greatest stadium outside of Ann Arbor to play in. I love to come out here, although it also has given me my worst record.
We're talking to Bo Schembechler, who coached for 21 years at the University of Michigan. The ball is thrown underneath Deshaun Foster out of the backfield. And the Michigan defense is up to the challenge. It's 3 and out for the UCLA Bruins. So, Bo, as you look back over the years and look at the way life is treating you now, you got to be pretty happy, huh?
Well, I've always been satisfied with what I did in coaching, and I enjoyed coaching at Michigan. I love college football, and that's why I hang around Ann Arbor in the fall, Keith. I still love to go to the games.
The game is, when they freed the arms of the big fat guys, it made it a different game.
They sure did. It sure did. I never heard it described that way, but you are absolutely right.
So he kicks it out of bounds. No return for the Wolverines, but they get good field position out of it at the 43-yard line. And Coach Schembechler, always fun to see you.
Nice to see you, Steve. Good luck to you. Take care.
Good job, Bo.
I'll see you.
Handled him pretty well the last time. Navarre rolls out and throws down the middle for Terrell. He's got it. Terrell is at the 20 and out of bounds. David Terrell getting loose from 2 defenders. And he makes a big play.
Well, the tables turned. That time it was 3 and out for UCLA, so the defense for the Bruins didn't get any chance to rest. Boy, this time they go right after him, too. They're making Navarre say, hey, come on, beat me. They've got him bracketed in the zone now. Watch this. Marcus Anderson has him there, but they outrun him. And then here comes the safety. They try to move him. He just kind of circled over and found the open area, and the ball was waiting for him.
First down at the UCLA 20-yard line now. That's Terrell's second big play of the ball game. This is Anthony Thomas. And he thunders over the right side to reach the 14-yard line.
Wolverines answering the challenge, coming out and saying, you jammed it down our throats, 14 plays for the touchdown. We're going to come right back and do it to you. They're also saying, hey, if you lead the nation in passing efficiency, John Navarre, you come on out and beat us. And that time he completed it and beat him.
Second down and 4. Thomas, 15 carries. He's got 102 yards today and a touchdown. And he's got the ball again. And he's banging away, running right over the left side, guard position. Anthony Fletcher there to wrestle him down, and he's a yard short of his first down.
Anthony Thomas over 100 yards, his third straight 100-yard game this year. He had that big run for 65 yards. He's over 105 now, but he's averaging over 6 yards a carry thanks to that big run.
He's working behind those 2 big old linemen, too, Jeff Backus and Steve Hutchinson.
And they're hammering with him.
Goes again. That's the first down. Brought down by Marcus Anderson. It'll be first and goal, Michigan at the UCLA 9.
UCLA players shaking up.
It's Anthony Fletcher. Defensive tackle, junior out of San Dimas, California.
UCLA's got to take some chances. They've had a good game plan defensively. Now's not a bad time to come with some run blitzes.
Fletcher looks like he might be all right. Ken Coker will come in and replace him. He is a veteran senior player. Started the season with a sprained ankle, but his playing time has grown over the last couple of weeks. On first and goal, they hand the ball off to Chris Perry. Perry circles the corner and scores.
Chris Perry, just a freshman, got outside, showed a lot of quicks. They broke containment. There was nobody out there for flood control. He got to the sideline and showed great balance, turning it upfield.
Now the point try by Epstein. And the Michigan lead is back to 10 at 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
First down, they bring in the freshman Chris Perry. Watch this. They say, let's get to the corner. Let's try to break containment. All of a sudden, boom, get it to him quickly. They run the tight end out there. They seal the corner, and now they make a lane for him. Marcus Anderson coming out of his safety position, didn't get over quick enough, dives at his feet, Can't get it. But look at the way he turns the corner, shows his balance and the quickness to get to the outside.
College football on ABC Sports, brought to you by.
Have a feeling that this offensive possession for UCLA is huge. I mean, they have to have a feeling of urgency. Still plenty of time to play, not only in the third quarter, but in the game. But down by 10, you have a feeling if they go 3 and out. And Michigan's got that running game going. Look out.
And everybody getting a little tired. The big guys in the trenches wearing down. Tab Perry and Jermaine Lewis waiting for this kickoff from Epstein. He's killed it beyond the field of play. It'll come out to the 20, first down. You miss on those kind of things the electricity of the kick return, because there is some magic in that little moment. And when you don't get it very often, I think it tends to drag you down a little bit, making that perhaps first snap a little quieter than it might have.
Spark to get that juice flowing, to get that adrenaline flow, which really makes you forget about the heat for a while. And you're right. Without a return, you don't get that spark.
That pass play to Terrell a little while ago, though, was the thing that lit Michigan's candle. And they go back to a 10-point lead, 20-10. Now it's up to the Bruins to respond. McCann back, goes to the sideline. He's got his man, and it's good for a first down. Just across the 30-yard line, Freddie Mitchell in front of James Whitley.
Freddie Mitchell told us yesterday he doesn't think there's a defensive back in the country that can cover either Freddie or Paulie Dixon. They just need a quarterback to get him the ball. There's a look at Todd Howard. They've been trying to get a mismatch with Paulie Dixon on Howard, 6'5" against 5'9½".
Tab Perry's in the ball game now for UCLA, and he's up there in the Howard neighborhood. Here's the cutback. And their white shirts all over the place at the 32-yard line. Freddie Mitchell talking about confidence, talking about what he can do given a chance. Well, he puts it this way.
I was raised up, hey, you know, you're the best, and because you work harder than anybody. And as long as you have that mentality, hey, you should succeed. And I pump that into the other players' head too. You know, I want them, I say, Paulie, it ain't a play that you say, well, Freddie can have the ball this time, or Deshaun can have the ball. You want the ball all the time.
Freddie Mitchell, 6 catches and 79 yards today, and all 6 receptions resulting in first down. Just thrown to the outside, got a block over there, and that's close to another first down to Mitchell.
Well, he just explodes, Keith. Flanker screen, getting the ball in a hurry, and that time McCann did a great job of getting the snap and getting it out to Mitchell. Watch this. He gets it out to him right now. 2 steps forward, go back, get the ball. Now watch his explosion here when he finds a blocker and tries to explode right off his hip. And then he reaches for the first down, coming up just short, but he got a good friendly mark.
Well, they bring the chain out, but I don't think he's got it.
Close. 3 inches maybe?
Eyes of an eagle. It's an inch short.
All right, I wouldn't waste any time with an option or anything else with Drew Bennett here. I'd just keep Ryan McCann in and quarterback sneak it, get the first, keep the drive alive, and let's move the chains.
You ain't playing.
And it's a good thing. Too hot for me, partner.
Hands in there. That's exactly what he does, and I don't know if he made it or not. It'll be. He only needed a couple of inches. All he had to do was just get on somebody's back pocket and ride him. And Wolverines gave it a go, but let's see if they stopped him.
Well, you know, in that quarterback sneak, the secret is your center's got to get off the ball in a hurry too. Danoff is 6'5", 303. You want to ride his butt right into that hole, and then slide to an open area. First down.
Not by a lot, but enough. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. 20-10, Michigan leads UCLA. Bruins open the second half with an 80-yard march for their first touchdown of the day. McCann runs away from the pressure, throws the ball down the field, and the pass is intercepted.
No, he's out of bounds.
They're going to say he's out of bounds.
Well, he made that call immediately, too.
Yep.
Back judge said no, he was out of bounds, but that was a dangerous pass by McCann. And again, Keith, he was late with the delivery.
Julius Curry, number 26, was the man who intercepted the ball.
Takes so long for him to throw, and he never comes off his receiver, so he's leading the defensive back right to the ball, which gives the DB the advantage. He was in bounds, too. UCLA gets a break.
First step, though. Didn't he go out on the first step?
Watch Curry. Let's see which foot comes down. His left foot is down. That's a tough angle.
And from the 41, second down. And this time the ball's got some air under it. And it is caught. And the receiver, Mitchell, is just belted. But he pops right up and romps back in. And Curry laid a lick on Mitchell. But Freddie would die before he'd indicate any sensation at all from it. So he went pounding right back out onto the field.
You know, in his debut against Texas 2 years ago, he made 4 receptions, 108 yards. He made a couple like this, even threw a touchdown. This is great concentration. He knows the safety's coming. He knows the safety's going to lay a lick on him. But the first thing he does is he gets the ball, makes the catch. He's now over 100 yards in reception. And I don't know, it almost looked like he threw that elbow, that hand in there, close to personal foul.
Ball is handed off to Jermaine Lewis, the tailback. Getting some fresh legs into the ball game, and a pretty good surge to the right side of the UCLA offensive line on that play.
Drive still alive because the Bruins might have gotten a favorable call here. Here's the pass. Here comes Curry in the white jersey, number 26. He's got the ball now. Left foot is in.
Does he have possession?
Good question. They obviously said no because the back judge was right on the play, made the call immediately.
Inside the 32 of Michigan. Second down and 6 for the Bruins. Pressure coming. Pass is incomplete. And sails out of bounds. So let's check in at Times Square Stadium with John.
Keith, Washington and Colorado.
Scuffle.
Keith McCann got shaken up on that last play. He was slow getting up. For a second, it looked like they were going to put Drew Bennett in the ball game and just let him get a play and let McCann recapture his breath. But here's the last play. Watch now, after he releases the ball, gets pile driven and lost his breath. He was really slow getting up.
It was Hobson putting him on his back. Third down. McCann goes, and it is caught. Caught by Mike Seidman. Oh, he had it. He got away. He pulled it back, controlled it, and picks up a first down at the Michigan 20-yard line.
Well, if UCLA has depth anywhere, it's at tight end. They got Krishan, they got Fletcher, and they got young Mike Seidman, who's a sophomore. Seidman that time looked the ball in. It got away from him. I think it actually came off his face mask. But watch the concentration by the young tight end. Here it is, off his face mask, off his shoulder pad, back in the air. And Seidman, who's 6'5", 243, reels it in and gets 4 more yards. But for a young guy, that's great concentration in a clutch situation.
From Wesley, off the highway. McCann back, wants to go into the end zone. When did he's got a man wide open? Touchdown, Brian Coley-Dixon.
He faked Brandon Williams right out of his shoe.
Chris Griffith now for the extra point. These are important.
Michigan already missed one.
Good. Plays their second 80-yard drive of the third quarter. The first one went 14 plays, and it's back to 3.
They tried to get a mismatch with Coley-Dixon, 6'5" against Whitley, 5'11". They didn't need it. The reason is because of his move. He came inside, went back outside, and the ball was perfectly thrown. You saw Whitley go down at the goal line, and he was missing his shoe. He gets faked right out of his shoe. But look at this strong drive to the middle, then give him the little head fake, and boom, he's gone. He says, if I'm even, I'm leaving, and the ball's waiting for him in the end zone. Perfect execution by that guy McCann, who right now, Keith, looks like he's gaining some confidence. And Bob Toledo, by sticking with him, I think helped that out.
Well, it took some courage on Toledo's part to do it, I think.
Amen.
remaining is 2:53, third quarter. And it's a 20-17 ball game. 3-point lead for Michigan as the Bruins kick it off. Fixie. High kick. 4 yards deep in the end zone. Walter Cross is coming with it. And comes to the 20-21. Tonight on ESPN, the LSU Tigers.
The feeling of urgency that UCLA had to score by the end of the third quarter. Now the defense has to rise to the occasion, and the pressure falls on that guy, John Navarre, the freshman.
Now the crowd, the home crowd, coming up, trying to help the defense. Navarre under some pressure, gets away from it, throws too far. Incomplete, intended for tight end Bill Seymour.
You know, we heard Stan Parrish, Keith, earlier say that Navarre is very calm. He showed it there. You know, he could have tucked that thing away and run the ball, but they need him to finish this game and to win. He very wisely just threw it away.
Second down and 10 from the 21. Lloyd Carr pacing the sidelines under this hot desert-like sun that covers Southern California on this day. And the ball to Thomas. Big hole up the middle. And it's Marcus Anderson that meets him head on and brings him down just short of the 30-yard line. B.J. Askew knocked the door open, and that's pretty much the same play that Thomas scored on.
And pretty much the same defense. UCLA came with a run blitz, and by the time he got to the hole, the blitz was past him. He's lucky he didn't break this one. Watch UCLA. They bring the blitz. He runs past it. They picked up the blitz on Ryan Neese, took him out of the play with a linebacker gone. Big gain to Thomas.
Third down and 1 for Michigan. Bruins got 8 men up there again. They're going after Thomas. They miss him. And he'll pick up the first down. It was Chris Perry picking up the first down, not Thomas.
This is one of the toughest things if you're playing defense, to stay up. You knew you had them backed up. You knew you had a pretty good defensive stand going. Now they get the first. They get the change. You start thinking it's hot. We got to play 3 more plays here at least. It's tough to stay up defensively after they get a first down late in a game like this.
Chris Perry is an impressive freshman. 6'1", 228 pounds. I mean, he is a hunk. Or as some call it, a load in this game. Navarre back. Wants to go big. Terrell's there. And he's asking for interference. He had double coverage. Ricky Manning was on him. And it was a Manning that was all in his shirt. And there's no call.
A lot of contact. The only thing that saved Manning and kept the flag in the pocket was his head. Watch this. Now he looks at his eyes. You see the ball coming. Now look at his head turn back to the ball, and he goes up, and that means he's looking for the football at that point. So there's no flag, even though he wants it. But look at the contact and the hands and the battle. But it was his head turning on a swivel like that that kept the flag in the pocket.
Second down and 10 from the 32. It's Perry. I told you he was a load. He's just getting involved now. He's got a first down. And they're going to put him out right about the 45-yard line.
And it's another first down, and the UCLA defense is saying 115 degrees on the field, and I've got to go at least 3 more plays again.
Perry has 5 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown in the ball game. In his first trip to the Rose Bowl, Tennessee leading Florida by 6 in the 4th quarter. That's Anthony Thomas, and he just wraps both arms around it and keeps pounding.
Boy, they got a great block on Dave Ball. He made penetration. They took him out with a block, and bingo, picks up the 7. Watch 43 right here. Now watch him come hard off the corner, and watch the block by the fullback, or actually the pulling guard. Actually got tackled, but still, that's the block that set him free.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Second down and 3. will keep pounding. Perry back in the backfield. And it looks like a first down.
This drive is so impressive for Michigan right now when they have to have it. Takes them under a minute of the third quarter, and they're just really banging it down the throats of the Bruins.
Askew back in the Michigan backfield. Perry's your tailback. And it's 1st and 10. That's Bellamy in motion. Go back to that tailback. This time.
But Thomas is the most distinctive linebacker for the Bruins, especially against the run. Watch number 8. See him on the left of your screen. Over the block, rolls into the tackler and whips him.
And we have run out of time in the third quarter. ABC Sports presentation, the final quarter. 20-17, Michigan leading. Michigan with the ball. 2nd down and 12. Big play for the Wolverines. It's a first down with Anthony Thomas rolling again.
Not a lot of substitutions on the UCLA defense, and right now they look tired. They're a step slow. They're being pushed out. Thomas is bringing it to him. 1 tackle, 2 tackle, 3 guys fall off of him as he comes through the line of scrimmage.
Anthony Thomas now 20 carries, 136 yards, and a touchdown on a day when it's well over 100 degrees on the playing field. That's a lot of work. Lloyd Carr says he gets stronger in the 4th quarter. He's looking like it. There's the pump, there's the pass, and it's thrown into the crowd. He looked over at Bill Seymour and then threw it over his head.
Saw Tony White there in coverage, who had good coverage, and it was a wise decision. What was it Joe Paterno told us that first week at the Kickoff Classic? That the true meaning of a great soldier is not courage, it's the ability to endure fatigue. A quote from Napoleon. Boy, these guys are being tested right now with that.
I hope they don't have any papers to write tonight.
UCLA hasn't even started classes yet.
2nd down and 10. They'll play with Chris Perry at tailback. Perry's been a factor here in the late going. Big factor.
Well, fresh legs too, and a young kid who comes in this heat. And as we said, not a lot of substitution on that defense. They bring in some guys now, though.
Marcus Anderson at safety has been heroic today for UCLA. He's really played a good ball game. 3rd and 10. No, 3rd and 10. It's 3rd and 7. 3rd without 7. Lamar back. No pressure on him. The pass to the sidelines, thrown high and hard and incomplete. Marquise Walker could not reel it in. He's 6'3". The ball really had some sizzle on it.
Well, Walker was there. He was open. Hunter was off of him soft, but I'll tell you what, after a long drive like that, terrific defensive stand by the defense. They've got to watch for a fake here, but I assume Michigan will go ahead and try to capitalize with the 3.
Epstein is in for the field goal try of 46 yards. His career long is 56. On the way, missed it. Missed it right.
And the UCLA defense held him to zip.
So that's like a drink of cool water as the Bruins take over the football with good field position. 13:36 to play in the game. 17 in the final quarter. 13.5 minutes to play. Pressure. McCann gets the ball away. It's caught by Stansbury. Uremia Stansbury out of the backfield. He's tracked down by Victor Hobson. But they got something out of it, and McCann got the ball away and to the receiver with a Michigan man all over him.
You know, he's been getting hit. He was slow getting up in the last series. He gets hit here after he delivers the ball, and he comes up limping again. Got his ankle rolled up there under the tackle. And he's hobbling a little bit.
Evan Coleman is the man that put him on the ground. Second down and 6. It's Foster. And Foster gets up to the 36-yard line.
I'll tell you this, Michigan has been relentless, and Ryan McCann has been taking a beating. Take a look at what's been taking place. Here's a play action, lets it go, boom. Late hit, personal foul. But he felt it, he'll remember it. And then he gets hit again after he releases it. On the last series, he fell on the ball. Here he gets a hat in the stomach, and he comes up limping on this series. So he's really been taking some punishment.
And he's looking at 3rd down and 3 right here. Passes away, got his man. That's Freddie Mitchell, and Freddie Mitchell is right on the marker. Is there a flag down there in the midst of the melee? I guess not.
He got the first,
down.
Yeah. Pretty good play here. They put him in motion. There's Freddie Mitchell right there in the right hand of your screen. But it's still, he's looking at him all the way. It's just a missed coverage by Michigan. They get it out to him. They deliver it to 1st down. But
Wolverines have only had 1 flag all day. 2 flags. I'm sorry, 2. Even so, not much. On 1st down, give it to Foster, looking to get outside. Can't do it. He'll get 3 yards out of it. And 12:07 to play on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Washington Redskins are to bring it to you. Al's got a platoon over there now.
I like that. Al and the Legion. Sounds like a sitcom.
It might be. Jermaine Lewis out of the backfield, but he gets the pass away to Gabe Krishon, the tight end, and Krishon will have a 1st down for the Bruins. Eric Brackens was the man who got all over Ryan McCann, but again, he got it away.
I want to tell you something. We got after McCann when he wasn't delivering the ball on time, and we got after him for some late throws. But right now, this is as gutsy a performance as you're going to see from anybody. He's limping, he's getting hit almost every play, and he releases the ball and makes the completion for the 1st. He knows he's going to get hit here. He can feel the guy coming and still delivers the ball.
On that last possession, that 80-yard drive that made it a 20-17 ball game, he was 5 out of 7 for 74 yards and the touchdown. So 1st down from just over midfield. The pass is away, drilled into Brian Coley-Dixon. And I mean, that one had some sauce on it.
And it was a strike, wasn't it? Hit him between the 8 and the 2. Well, let's give Bob Toledo some credit, too. Obviously, they haven't scored here yet, but Bob Toledo told Todd Harris at halftime, I'm going to stick with Ryan McCann. I'm going to let him go ahead and live this thing out and see what comes out of here. Well, so far, he's finding a gutsy quarterback in Ryan McCann, and that pass was perfect.
33-yard line of Michigan 1st down Bruins. Jermaine Lewis back in the backfield again. Little delay, and it is Jeremiah Stansberry fumbles the football, and Michigan's got it. Oh boy. Bruins have had trouble all day long holding on to the football, and they cough it up again.
3rd fumble of the game, and Bob Toledo can only put his hands on his hip. Jeremiah Stansberry got hung up there on the draw. Took a long time to get out of the backfield. Look at this. Once he gets out there, he's free now, but he's not protecting the ball. He gets hit. Oh, 3rd turnover of the game for the Bruins.
Julius Curry was the man that knocked it out of there, and Norman Bobert covered it for the Wolverines. And now advantage Michigan with 11 minutes to play in a 3-point ball game.
Been a terrific game so far, hasn't it?
Hard, tough game.
Now the Bruins will be tested again defensively.
Anthony Thomas pick up a yard. We're off to Times Square Stadium.
Keith, time for the Burger King play of the day. Michael Vick, you don't get tired of watching this guy. He's down, right? No, reverses his field, moves back to the left, and then takes off 45 yards down to the 3 and set up a touchdown that made it 21-0. Virginia Tech rolls, and Michael Vick over 100 passing, over 100 rushing as well.
Why wasn't he flagged for a face mask? Penalty flags. Pass is high and incomplete, intended for Terrell. Well, the flag came early.
What's that going to be, holding against Michigan?
Well, it's
That's
in that
UCLA.
neighborhood. It's UCLA. This is fatigue now. Starting to kick in on both sides.
5 yards, previous spot, still second down.
I think they lined up in the neutral zone is what they're calling. Just trying to cheat a little bit, get up as close to the line of scrimmage and guess the count as you can.
That'll move the football to the 37. Michigan, or the Wolverines will have it.
Regardless of the outcome, Keith, I think UCLA is going to look at this game and shake their heads and say, you know, we gave Michigan every opportunity to win this thing. With the fumbles and the drop passes, penalties.
That's the first penalty on the Bruins in this half. Third turnover, they come to haunt them. Navarre turns, hands the ball away, and this time Chris Perry is taken down short of the line of scrimmage by Ryan Neese, who's playing with a very sore shoulder. Now here comes the nickel package for UCLA. Anthony Thomas is coming back onto the field. It's 3rd down and 6 now for Michigan. Put a circle around this play.
John Navarre struggled a little bit since the first half, too. Let's see what he does here. On 3rd down, you're right. This is huge.
Going to throw it. And it is incomplete. Ron Bellamy looked the man that was the target. And Epstein is on the punt. Hayden Epstein's leg has been busy. He's got 2, 4, 6, 8. This is his 9th punt.
4 don'ts of the kicking game. Don't be all sides. Don't rough the kicker. Don't clip, and don't let the ball hit the ground.
High kick. Good one. Manning. Oh, nice play downfield by Justin Fargas. Boy, he's still a speed burner, isn't he? 50-yard punt, -1 on the return. Bruins have the ball, but it's way back. A 3-point ball game. Michigan leading UCLA 20-17. Bruins have the football.
You know, Keith, coming into the game, Michigan said they had to stop the run. And that was the Dell game solution. And I want to tell you, they have done that so far. 72 yards rushing for UCLA, and that's it.
Bruins start at their own 15-yard line. And they run it with Deshaun Foster. And he gets about 8 yards on the carry behind the blocking of Eremia Stansbury. Brian McCann in the ball game, 19 of 36, 212 yards and a touchdown. He has completed his last 6 passes.
Told you about Deshaun Foster, 187 yards the first game, 140 some last week. Right now, just 19 carries and 56 yards.
He's been a marked man. Got a first down on that carry. Lunging forward in the grass with Hobson and Bobert.
Well, if you told UCLA coming into this ball game, we're going to give you the ball first down with 8:42 to play, down 20-17, they'd take it. They say all you have to do is drive and score. Well, here's their opportunity, because this is just where UCLA would want to be.
They have a long march and can get it in the end zone. Michigan won't have all that much time left. But it's a long way down there. Pressure coming from the backside. Passes away. His man's wide open. It's Freddie Mitchell. And Mitchell is out of bounds at midfield.
Freddie was panicking. He's raising his arms and trying to get the attention of McCann to throw it now. I'm wide open. And McCann waited and waited and finally got to him. And now Freddie goes back and slaps him 5. But look at him. He's waiting. And finally he sees the arms of Freddie back there by himself. Freddie Mitchell makes the catch and then gets out of bounds, stops the clock at 8:24, and immediately went over and gave Ryan McCann a high 5.
Freddie has caught 10 for 138 yards. It's Foster.
Look out.
Deshaun Foster brought down by Jeremy LeSueur at the Michigan 22-yard line.
Been a tough go for him this afternoon, but watch, this play is designed to go to the right. It's a sweep. All of a sudden, he starts cutting back against the grain, and it's like running downhill because these guys now are coming hard at him, and he's already by him. Not enough left in the tank to outrun some of these guys, but by going against the grain all the way back across the field, Michigan ran themselves out of the play.
And 28 yards on the carry gives Foster 87 for the game. Jermaine Lewis is the deep back. Lewis with fresh legs working his way up the middle. And he's still going, and he's still going. He's inside the 10-yard line. Another first down for UCLA. He broke the tackle of Victor Hobson.
Wow.
The game has been played in surges.
Gut check time now for Michigan. Got to bow their backs in short yardage. But for the Bruins, they got to hold on to the football.
First and goal at the Michigan 8-yard line. Foster is back in there. He's got the ball. Running to the right side. Michigan trying to trail him. Miss him, and finally get him. 2 Wolverines were trying to pick him up from the backside, but it was Curry who finally brought him down. Freddie Mitchell threw a block so hard he lost his hat. Stansbury was out in front of the run.
And he started to do a walk, Keith, and look up in the stands, and he's got to be careful to throw the flag. He did not take his hat off. It was knocked off, but he's got to get it back on. Deshaun Foster, extremely patient, waiting for this thing to develop, then explodes around the corner. There's Freddie at the top, and he loses his helmet. Watch this. Gets his helmet knocked off right here. It's off now from the hand to the face and the face mask, but then he took a walk in the stands. He's got to be careful.
Second down and goal from the 2-yard line. Stansbury, no, it is, yes, it is Arrhenius Stansbury. Touchdown. McCann rolling. The ball was put in the belly of Foster, then taken out, and Arrhenius Stansbury sliding out to the left side was the man that was open. So his conscience is now clear after that play.
This UCLA team is for real. This is a gut check, and the offense responded with some big plays. But great poise by Ryan McCann, who's playing banged up and is hurting.
Chris Griffith for the point. Drew Bennett the holder. Ball got away on a bad snap. The snap from Grau didn't come back clean, came back very low, and Bennett never got a handle on it and couldn't put it down for the point. And so the point goes awry.
Down inside the 5 where UCLA likes to run. So instead of running, they break tendency and they go play action. Here comes Stansbury, makes the catch and crawls it in. And it's 23-20 UCLA.
UCLA's first lead of the ball game, 23-20, 7 plays, 85 yards. That's the third 80-yard plus or more drive that the Bruins have had in the second half. But the missed extra point, it's like a base on balls in the bottom of the 9th inning. Fixie kicks it out of bounds. There's another mistake. It'll come out to the 35-yard line for the Michigan Wolverines. College football on ABC Sports brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, get in and be moved. United States Army.
about how important that last drive was for the Bruins, and certainly they did capitalize. They went the 80 yards and made the score, but what they didn't do was melt the clock. They left 6:25 on there. Now with this mistake, Michigan has good field position with plenty of time.
6 minutes and 25 seconds of time. Navarre. They reverse it with Fargas. And Fargas will pick up a pretty good chunk. About 9 yards before Tony White brought him down. Fresh legs on a 100-degree day.
And what Michigan has done all day is protect the football. UCLA is the one that's turned it over. These guys in white have done a great job holding on to it.
Clock is running. The attendance, 88,044. Basically a sellout at the Rose Bowl. This is Anthony Thomas. They finally get him out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Ricky Manning knocked him out.
I'm going to tell you something. As big as Thomas is, he can flat out fly. He's 6'2", 228 pounds. But watch once he gets outside. All right, he breaks containment. And now number 12 there chasing him is Jason Bell. And Jason Bell can't catch him. Ricky Manning's got a pursuit angle and a lot of speed and finally gets over there and cuts him off. But this is tremendous speed from a guy you think of as a power back and a great big 230-pound guy.
41 yards at a crucial time in the ball game for the Wolverines. First down at the 15 and stay with him. Chris Perry in at the tailback spot right now. I'll tell you what, with Perry's size, they don't lose a whole lot. He's a little bit bigger than Anthony Thomas. The only thing he lacks is maturity and wisdom.
Well, he's got 22 carries, 172 yards coming into the ball game. Had that 103-yard game against Bowling Green. You see what he has? Unbelievable. Freshman comes in out of Vanson with Carolina and plays in the Rose Bowl against UCLA like this.
Ball is on the 10-yard line where it's second down and 5 for Michigan. Perry again. And they stop him just short of his first down marker. Robert Thomas, Tony White. It'll be 3rd and 1. And the clock rolling along, as you see, right at 4.5 minutes to play in the game.
Huge play here. Short yardage defense. That line's got to establish a new line of scrimmage about a yard deep in the Michigan backfield to make a stop. If they get the first, look out.
It's Perry, and they hit him in the backfield. Knock him all the way back to the 10-yard line. It was Robert Thomas who put a hat on him and drilled him backwards.
That's short yardage defense as well as you can play it. The down linemen across, Coleman, Fletcher, Leslie, and Williams, they've got to penetrate. They've got to give the linebacker a shot. Now watch the blue jerseys. They win the line of scrimmage, then here comes your linebacker through the gap, and Thomas makes the play. Terrific stand there by UCLA.
And here comes the Michigan field goal try to tie. Hayden Epstein trotting on the field.
Got to hurry. Play clock's down to 10. They're not going to get it all. Just barely.
Just barely. Kicks up. Plenty of leg. And he missed it! As Epstein misses the field goal try from 24 yards. Snap was low from Jeremy Miller. Hold looks all right, though.
But it threw the timing off just enough. Ball's on the ground. He's already stepped, Keith. See, then he had to pull up. It threw his rhythm off.
From 24 yards, he misses it. He's 0 for 2 in field goals today, and is 2 out of 3 on points after. So he's had a tough day. And the Bruins take over the football at their own 20-yard line and hand it off to Deshaun Foster. 3 minutes and 15 or so seconds remaining to play in the football game, with UCLA leading 23-20.
Boy, the umpire just took a blast. He's pretty tough too. He's up now, but he was shaken up.
Walt Wolf, he's tough, guarantee you.
He took a lick, Keith.
Time permitting, stay tuned for the 50 Car Rental postgame report, scores and highlights from across the country. California went to Illinois today. Illinois highly touted back in the Big Ten, where Michigan goes next week. And Golden Bears played them tough, losing by 2, 17-15. Washington had gone to a lead over Colorado in Boulder. There are some games to be played tonight involving the Pac-10 people, including the Oregon Ducks, who are just getting underway. Oregon losing a close ball game in Madison, Wisconsin last week. All this talk about Pac-10 being back starting to be given some credibility.
Timeout by Michigan, which gives them time to regroup. The Bruins need 3 first downs to melt the last 3:16 off that clock.
Michigan has 2 timeouts remaining. Deshaun Foster, 23 carries for 97 yards in the game for the Bruins, and McCann now is 21 of 38 for 237 yards and completed his last 8 passes. And they whistle him on this one.
It's going to go against UCLA. I think it was procedure.
Well, not a time to get careless, because you haven't got a lot of real estate at your back.
Before the snap, false start, offense. 5 yards previous spot, still second down.
That's easy for us to say, sitting in the shade with a fan at our back.
Sitting down, I may add.
Yeah, absolutely. Been a tough, grinded out, gut tough football game. I mean, this is old-fashioned stuff. Ball is back at the 18. And they hand it off inside, and I mean, there is nothing there. They're going to need one more wallop from Fixie. Timeout by Michigan. They'll have 1 remaining, and that stops the clock at 3:09 to play in the game.
Well, you're putting Fiske in the game already, and they're thinking they still have another shot at a first down, but McCann's going to have to do something big, and you don't want to take too much of a chance down here.
3rd down and 12. You don't want to get reckless. Maybe they let Freddie Mitchell throw it.
Keep in mind, you've had a limited game plan with Ryan McCann in the ball game. They had to take a lot of plays out. We've pretty much seen the entire game plan, and they have had some misdirection things. They've thrown back underneath coverages, and they had that 1 double pass to Paulie Dixon. But this is not the situation where you have a double pass. This is more one of those, you want a controlled, high percentage pass, and let somebody try to make a catch and then run for the first.
All right, Foster's in the backfield. Ramius Stanley's in the backfield. Stansbury. Matt Stanley, the other fullback, is out with a separated shoulder. Cabrera's played the whole ball game on a sore ankle. Guard. Paulie Dixon to the bottom of the picture. Freddie Mitchell at the top of the picture. McCann back, lets it go. He's throwing for Paulie Dixon, and he's out of bounds. And a penalty flag.
Interference. It was Whitley, they're going to say, was pushing him out of bounds, I believe.
Was the ball catchable?
Well, that's the thing they've got to decide, but they made the call. Moot point. Moot point. Saying Whitley was riding him. Watch number 5. There's a mismatch in size. They try to throw it high. There's the contact, forcing him out of bounds. Yeah, that ball was catchable if he wasn't pushed.
Huge flag.
Is it ever? Look at him riding him all the way out of bounds. Well, you know what? He's so far out of bounds, I'm not sure it was catchable.
Ball was thrown out of bounds.
Hey, Paulie Dixon's 6'5", and he's a good leaper, but come on. Now they're having a powwow, and that's what they're asking. Michigan's asking, was the ball catchable?
It was 3rd and 14.
They've already marked off the penalty and moved the chains. But now the conversation begins in earnest with the referee, the back judge, the field judge.
Well, I think it's a fair question.
Although I have to tell you something, Whitley was mugging him.
It's going to stand.
They're going to go over, explain it to Lloyd.
The foul for defensive pass interference is going to be picked up. It's ruled that the ball is uncatchable.
That's what I thought.
Bob Toledo now is furious. He's riding him out, and they're saying that ball's uncatchable.
His ball was thrown out of bounds. The ball was not catchable on the field of play. Now they've got to go back there and put it back where it was.
I'll tell you this. You said it was a huge call. That's even a bigger reversal.
Yep.
Wow.
You got 3 minutes and 3 seconds to play. Now, is that the proper mark where the ball was snapped? Somebody in the official scorer can tell them if they inquire. That's probably, he's going over now and explain it to
Bob Toledo, and he's not
Toledo.
going to be happy. Now, they're going to tell him the ball wasn't catchable, and Bob Toledo's going to say, what about holding? You're going to tell me that wasn't defensive holding?
I don't want Gordon Reese's job, though. Thank you very much.
It's a horrible call.
Bob doesn't look satisfied. Away with one there. He mugged Coley Dixon.
But the ball was so far out of bounds. I think that swings the decision the other way.
But I'm saying that's why Whitley got away with it. If that ball's catchable, there's no question Whitley interfered with him badly, so he definitely got away with one.
He was thrown way out. Now we go to the 9th punt of the day for Nate Fixie. We need one of those. The Bruins could use that 74-yarder he had in the first half.
You're asking for a lot. This guy's standing back near the goal line.
At this point, Ronald Bellamy is standing back on his own 40-yard line, waiting for the ball.
Got to believe Michigan's going to have outstanding field position.
Good kick. Runs him back to the 30, back to the 28. Now he's got some daylight. All the way back to the UCLA 39-yard line. Fixie, the punter, made the tackle. Outkicked the coverage. That's what can happen to you.
Boy, Fixie did everything he could on this play. Great kick. Drives him back. Now the wall sets. Look at all the white jerseys getting their wall set up. Mike Seidman can't hold on to him. He misses it. Ryan Neese misses it. And then here comes Fixie, the kicker, and Fixie makes the tackle. So he gave him a great punt, and then he saved the touchdown. Terrific
That
return.
ball 57 yards, but it was returned 35 by Bellamy, and it's first down Michigan at the UCLA 38-yard line. Navarre back, looking to throw, goes to the sidelines. It's incomplete. And he looked at David Terrell all the way. Looked at him from the very first second.
Well, it's the play everybody's going to be talking about. It's the pass to Coley Dixon. There's the contact. They push him out of bounds, but the ball is thrown out of bounds and not catchable. So first they call the penalty, and then they pick up the penalty. Wow.
He stays in bounds. The ball is well over his head. Second down and 10. Thomas, double reverse. This is Terrell coming this way. And Terrell will run it down to the 25-yard line for a Michigan first down. How about that?
You know, this game has had everything.
Stan Parrish went too deep in his hip pocket to find that one.
When's the last time you saw this? There's the reverse, the double reverse. And now look at all the blockers out in front of him. He's got a whole host of people in front of him that are taking out blue jerseys.
Put it on the 26-yard line for Michigan on the UCLA side of the field. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the game. 23-20, UCLA. Navarre looking, goes to the sidelines. The pass is incomplete, intended for his fullback, Askew.
Well, they had the right matchup, though. They had Askew, who really was a tailback, moved to fullback, and he's got the body of a tailback, and he can catch. They had him locked up on Tony White, the linebacker, and that's a mismatch that they can feel like they can win almost every time. Look at this.
Pretty quiet in the second half.
Sure has. This becomes a pretty big second down and long.
Second down and 10. Gonna run it. And Thomas is walloped right on the 25-yard line by Marcus Anderson and Robert Thomas. If these two teams have to go overtime, we better call a mash unit.
It'll be the last one standing, won't it? I can tell you this, regardless of the outcome of this game, these are two quality football teams.
They are.
And definitely should not be hurt in the rankings.
3rd and 9 now. Down the middle, intercepted by UCLA's Jason Stevens. And down at the 38-yard line.
They bring Jason Stevens in the nickel situation. But rather than being the nickel back, they move him to safety and move Marcus Anderson over to the nickel. He was just playing center field, and the ball was thrown to the middle of the field, and I'm telling you, Navarre never saw it. Here comes Stevens, reads it all the way, just playing center field, and makes the pick. Jason Stevens, when he comes in that nickel situation, moves to that safety, and he played it well there. That ball was almost thrown. It was like he was the intended receiver.
Michigan has one timeout remaining. They can stop the clock one time.
One first down, though, for UCLA wins it. And I don't even think they need that. They may just take the clock plays.
128. Backed up a little bit, gave up some yardage to burn as much time as he could before the knee went down. And Michigan will stop it at 1:21 to play in the ball game.
That's what we needed, Jay.
Is it an upset? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think these two football teams are evenly matched. They played that way all day. UCLA and Michigan are as good as anybody in the country.
Well, the polls don't mean anything at this time of the year as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. They're only for conversation.
Today's Chevrolet players of the game are Anthony Thomas for the Michigan Wolverines. Thomas, 24 carries, 182 yards. I didn't think something like that was possible on a hot day like this, but he did it. Ryan McCann, you talk about a heroic effort. 21 out of 39, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Michigan hammered him all day.
Terrific, gutsy performance by McCann. And this after he had some hardships early on. He wasn't sharp in that first half. Toledo could have really yanked him, but he didn't. UCLA better not get this premature celebration. They better get rid of that last 121.
Ain't over.
Amen.
Ball is on the 34-yard line. Second down and 14. Down he goes. Now Michigan can't stop the clock unless they foul him.
That'll take us well under a minute.
It'll be third down. UCLA, we talked about Michigan.
Then get funky with Seinfeld. Weeknights on Fox 17.
Coming up on Michigan Replay, the Wolverines run into a hot band of Bruins and drop a tough road game. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet a new offensive line coach with a familiar name. And we'll look ahead to the Big Ten season as the Illini provide Michigan's first conference test. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you by Pepsi, the joy of cola. By Bank One, the preferred financial services provider for University of Michigan Athletics. And by AAA, the official travel agency of Michigan Athletics.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. It was hot Saturday in Los Angeles, over 100 degrees in the field, and the UCLA Bruins came up with a 23-20 victory over Michigan in a tough, hard-nosed, physical football game that really Michigan had a lot of opportunities to win and just didn't get it done, Lloyd.
We had our opportunities, Jim. We just came up short, and there were a lot of different plays that could have gone either way, and they didn't go our way. So now we got to find out
what you're made
how
of.
we can handle it.
Yeah. Hottest game you've ever played in? I can't remember one over 100 degrees for the entire game.
Well, I think you had to be there to really appreciate how hot it was. I think both teams, you know, had to, in the end, I think particularly both defenses wore down.
Let's take a look at the highlights. First half, you got off really to a pretty decent start. You got a break here as they get a punt return on your first possession that goes the distance, but it gets called back to block in the back right there on Walter Cross.
Right. Well, that's, you know, if he doesn't get block in the back, he probably would make that tackle. So, but Ricky Banning was a dangerous guy, and really for the rest of the afternoon, we did a tremendous job covering our punts, and Hayden Epstein probably punted as well as he has all during his career.
Right, and we'll see later on, Justin Fargas had a brilliant special teams game, even though here, Anthony Thomas fumbles, but you get it right back on the next play.
Well, Victor Hobson comes off the edge and knocks the ball loose, and we get the ball, consecutive fumbles in the first two plays. And Jim, I think that it's indicative of how intense the defense was and how hard both teams played.
Here, a good screen, Anthony Thomas gets out and gets 9 on, and then on the next play, this is a third and very short, and they go goal line, which leaves safeties out of the field, and when he breaks the line of scrimmage, it's over.
Well, Jim, we did a great job up front blocking that front, and Anthony cut back against the grain and ran through an arm tackle there, and that's what you like to do on the road. But then we had a poor snap and missed the extra point, so that came back to be a big play later in the day.
On their possession, they come back downfield, and McCann starts to hit some passes. Then they throw the trick play at you.
Well, defensively, we played extremely well the first half. Their only points in this half really came about because of that double pass there where they threw the flanker and then he threw down the field. But we held defensively and forced a field goal. And Jim, our defense in the first half played extremely well.
So it's 6-3 at this point. Here, Hayden Epstein kicks it away, and your special teams comes up with a turnover.
Well, Justin Fargas comes up with just a tremendous play. He missed the tackle, got up off the ground, and ripped the ball out of his hands. And Dan Rumashek was hustling down there. And on first down, we got a play-action pass, great protection, and David Terrell makes an absolutely wonderful catch. And Jim, we're not playing as well offensively as we'd like at the time, but we still have got 2 big plays for touchdowns.
And you're up 13-3 at this point, and then for the rest of the first half, the defense steps up.
Well, this kid, Larry Stevens, did some good things out there, and you know, that's, I think, very good for us in the future.
Here, good pressure from Drake, and Curry knocks the ball away. Again, defense playing strong. And then next play to end the first half highlights, good blitz here and a sack by Hobson.
Well, we come off a little game there, and Victor, with good speed off the corner, comes up with a sack.
So at halftime, it's 13-3. You go to the locker room with the lead. And again, you got to feel heartened to the fact that, you know, offensively you weren't playing that great, but you still had that 13-3 lead on the road.
Well, we had 2 guys in there, Maurice Williams and Justin Fargas, and Justin didn't play a lot, but 2 guys that, you know, are dehydrated and starting to have some cramping problems. And, but yet we felt good, very good. The time of possession, Jim, was 17 minutes to 12 in our favor, which something that you like to do on a hot day. And our defense hadn't had to play a great deal in the first half.
Well, we'll come back. We'll take a look at the second half where it got away from the Wolverines. That's next on Michigan Replay. 14-3 lead at the half at UCLA in the Rose Bowl. And then maybe one of the biggest parts of the whole game was their first possession in the second half, where they take it down the field. And I thought they got more patient offensively than they were in the first half.
Well, Jim, UCLA won the toss. They deferred, and this is why you like to have the ball open the second half, because if you're behind, it gives you an opportunity to come out and make something happen. And right from the beginning, the momentum in this game began to switch here on this drive, because they hit some passes. McCann, the young quarterback, really settled down, and we began to miss some tackles, and they put together an 80-yard drive to start the second half, which got the crowd back into the game.
But 2 possessions later, you come back, first down, make a big play down to David Terrell, and you're back in business, and you answer on the next play with Chris Perry.
Well, that's an outstanding play there by David Terrell, and then we block the play on the right side well, and Chris Perry gets in. So we've regained that 7 yards we lost in the first drive of the second half.
So you're up 20-10 at this point, and then their next possession, again, they keep moving the football. Nice pass here to Mitchell.
Well, Jim, as you can see, we're not getting much pressure up front, and with a 4-man rush, and of course, that gives a quarterback confidence.
And this play hurt you. This should have been an interception. They ruled Curry was out of bounds, and yet he wasn't.
Well, Jim, that's an absolutely wrong call and a very, very big play in this game, because UCLA goes on and scores a touchdown instead of us having the football, and that is really disappointing.
And you had the ball in great field position, too, in addition to getting the football in the turnover.
Well, Julius Curry there makes a great hit. It was a very, very hard-hitting football game. Here we got guys around him, and comes up with a fingertip catch. But here again, we do not get much pressure, and they get outside our coverage and hit the touchdown, and now it's a 3-point game again.
20-17 at this point, but you start running the football against them.
Well, we began late in the third quarter to really move the ball well. I thought on the ground we blocked them up front. I think we wore them down some, but we were unable after that to put the ball in the end zone, and that's, of course, why we lost the game.
Anthony Thomas, a good drive here. And then the kicking game again. Hayden Epstein had an opportunity here right from the middle of the field. He pushes a little bit right, so he missed the field goal, which would have put you up 6 at that point. And UCLA gets the ball back and starts to move again.
Well, Jim, this really is the poorest we played in this point of the game. Again, we don't get much pressure. They hit the seam. McCann is in good rhythm here. And now we come up with a great play. We're tired, but Julius Curry comes up with a great hit. Norman Bovard gets the ball, and we're in, we have escaped an opportunity for UCLA to take the lead.
You go 3 and out, but you get a great special teams play again here by Justin Fargas.
Justin Fargas had some great plays in this game, and that's one of them. Tremendous job on coverage, on the punts. Ran well in the reverse late in the game. Justin did a tremendous job in there.
They get the ball back, though, and they start moving it again, and you let Mitchell get open on the sideline, and then they start to move the ball on the ground, and this is where you started, you thought the defense started to really get tired.
Well, we really tackled poorly here in this drive. They had 3 consecutive plays, 2 over 20 yards and 1 for 14, so Jim, they got down the field in a hurry on this scoring drive.
And here a couple tackles.
There's 2.
Yeah.
And this young back got in there and as a backup did a great job. Here we lose contain, and Larry gets over just a little bit late, and now UCLA has the lead.
23-20 Bruins at this point, but on your next possession, you come right back, and it looks like you're going to take the lead back with a great run by Anthony Thomas.
Well, Jim, I feel very good about the fact that we never stopped fighting, never stopped trying to win this football game, and we had a couple opportunities right down at the end. We just couldn't get it done.
Here's a 3rd and 1 play. He gets stuffed. Chris Perry does, and you said if you'd have gotten it a little bit closer, you might have gone for it on 4th.
Well, yes, that's exactly what I was going to do. And we get some penetration there and lose a yard. missed the field goal.
Yep, and then coming back later, there's a big play in the game. They rule an interference call on this play, and then they pick up the flag because the ball was clearly uncatchable out of bounds.
Well, I didn't particularly like the call, but I do think they did a good job in making the decision that the ball was uncatchable. And so our defense came up with a great stop, Jim. We used our timeouts, and now Ronald Bellamy makes what could have been one of the biggest plays of the game for us. We get hustling down. Guys are doing a good job blocking. We get a 35-yard punt return down into UCLA territory, and now we can win or tie with a field goal. So we're in great shape here.
And then inside the 30, the one big mistake you didn't need to make, the interception by John Navarre, and UCLA at that point just can sit on the ball and put it away, and it becomes the final 23-20 UCLA on a hot afternoon in Los Angeles.
Well, it was hot, and we just couldn't find a way to pull it out at the end.
One of the things you talked about, injury to Eric Wilson up front, big part of the game, and well, your defense is getting nicked up, but especially with veteran guys.
Well, Jake Freisinger went down 2 weeks ago, and Eric is going to be out probably at least this week. So, we've got a lot of young guys in there, Jim, and of course, part of that game, Brackens and Foote had to leave and go back to the locker room to get IVs. They lost so much fluid. So it was an extremely hot day, and yet we continue to fight. As tired as we were, as young as we were in there, the last stop gave us a chance to win the game. We came up with a big stop, but we just couldn't get it done.
And the Wolverines lose their first of the year, a 23-20 decision to UCLA. When we come back, we'll talk to a very familiar name back in Ann Arbor, coaching the offensive line. Stay with us. That's next on Michigan Replay.
There's a familiar name roaming the football offices in Ann Arbor these days. It's Moeller, Andy Moeller. That's right. The former Wolverine linebacker and son of former head coach Gary Moeller is the new offensive line coach at Michigan. He's been at Army and Missouri learning the business, and the opportunity to come home to coach had two benefits.
There's the emotional side from the ties to Michigan and that kind of stuff, but you also from a career decision of moving and opportunities, and so more came down for me and my family, my career opportunity-wise, to be able to come back here was the crux of the decision. Obviously, I'm excited to be back because it's Michigan too, but it's more of was a career decision as well.
He's hardworking, loves the game, and loves to coach, and he brings with him the unmistakable understanding of the tradition of Michigan football.
It's amazing to me standing out there. I walked off the field the other day and looked at all the football that's been played on that practice field over the years inside those walls. And the thing about it is it never changes from year after year of what's demanded and the tradition that carries on. And I think that part of it you try to teach as a coach, but you also have to try to understand that as a player and use that in your motivation because Michigan is bigger than any one man or coach here. It's the whole or of Michigan football and the tradition that everybody's got to live up to.
Andy also has to live up to his father's immense contributions. Now in the NFL with the Detroit Lions, Gary Moeller is an outstanding coach who is always considered a player's coach. Andy is aware of his father's talents and knows, just like his dad, that being considered a player's coach is what every coach should aspire to.
And when you leave and when you're finished, you look back and you can say, hey, that was a great experience. And I learned so much from this coach in this situation and those kind of things. And if one of your players can do that, then you succeeded as a coach. And I think when I think of my father, that's what I think about. And I've had several other people that have played for him tell me the same thing. And if, the guys I coach would say the same thing of what a great experience and that my coach did me right. He was demanding and tough and all that kind of stuff, but he made me what I was there in college and was a big factor. And then to me, you're succeeding as a coach. And heck, if I could be as that successful, yes, that's what you're shooting for.
Well, Andy Muller's quite an addition to the staff, and I know you're good friends with Gary Muller, and you say, boy, they're talking about a chip off the old block, huh?
Well, Andy Muller's a great football coach, just like he was a great player, and his dad, of course, was a great football coach, and you know, it's a tremendous thing to have Andy back in this program.
Were you his position coach when he was here?
No. I would coach the secondary.
You were coaching the secondary?
I was behind him.
You were behind him, but I bet you had. Every now and again, you gave him a little word on, hey, Andy, you know, we need to get deeper in that drop zone, help my safety.
Give us some help back here. No, Andy was, of course, he was a captain here and has a great coaching background for such a young guy. He was at West Point, Missouri, and he's got a tremendous future in front of him.
All right. We'll be right back, and we'll take a look at Illinois, Michigan's next opponent on Michigan Replay. Well, the Big Ten season opens next as the Wolverines have concluded the non-conference schedule, and boy, it doesn't get any easier. You got to travel to Illinois and take on a very good Illinois football team.
Well, going into the season, Jim, we felt like this was the toughest turnaround in terms of the schedule, coming back from Los Angeles and getting back late at night, around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then having to start preparation for Illinois. Another very good football team.
Yeah, as we take a look at our AAA scouting report, Kurt Kittner is one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. Now, he was hurt Saturday, but came back and is expected to play. But this guy you know is going to play. Hurt you big time last year, Rocky Harvey.
I think Harvey is an outstanding back, Jim, an explosive runner. He's tough. He's a great blocker. He can catch the ball. And Harris is 222 pounds, so they have probably as good a 1-2 punch at running back as anybody in the conference.
Kittner very accurate and goes to Greg Lewis a lot as his wide receiver, but maybe their improvement on defense has been what their head coach Ron Turner has looked at.
Everybody from that defense, I think with 2 exceptions, is back from a year ago. And Fred Wakefield making the play here, 6'7", 280-pound senior, is leading sack guy and tackles for loss, so he's a guy that can penetrate and get up the field.
Good linebacker Robert Franklin. Their best secondary player is Muhammad Abdullah, 6'1", 200-pound junior, who can play. Had 8 tackles on Saturday against California.
He's a very good football player, and they're an improved defensive team. And Jim, a year ago, I thought at the end of the season they were the best offensive football team in the league.
And you also said, and I think you told me, you said offensive line was maybe the best in the conference at the end of the year.
I do believe they have the best offensive line in this league. Their tackles, Panos is a big guy, 6'7", 300 pounds. Butkus is at center. And, you know, it's just a great offensive line, and then those backs can run. So we're going to have to do some work this week. We need a lot of preparation. We've got to get some guys healthy. But this is going to be quite an opener for the Big Ten Conference.
And the other thing is you're coming off a loss. I mean, the kids have to respond, don't they? And, you know, immediately get back to the attitude and win.
Well, everybody put a lot into this game on Saturday against UCLA, and so you come back and it's very, very disappointing, and yet that's one of the challenges of this game. You've got to come back ready to go because there's nobody out there feeling sorry for you, and you certainly can't feel sorry for yourself.
And a lot of people are going to make something of last year's game, you know, about payback, revenge kind of a thing. That's overdone a lot, isn't it?
I don't think it has any impact on what happens and what will happen this week.
From your perspective, looking at this game, coming out of UCLA, what do you think the key is against Illinois?
Well, Jim, you know, I was concerned in the second half the way our defense wore down. We were unable to get any pressure. We started to miss some tackles, and of course, some of that has to do with the fact that we were not very good on third down ourselves offensively, and so it's a team thing. There were some good things, very good things in the kicking game, and yet, you know, we didn't execute there at times as well. So we have to get better as a football team.
Real quickly, the quarterback situation, John Navarre, Drew Henson, how Is Drew ready? You don't know yet. Practice will tell.
Jim, Dr. Voitis will make that call, and based on the X-rays, I think we're going to do some. We did some X-rays on Thursday. We've got to see how the bone is healing, and then Dr. Voitis has got to make the call in terms of whether he will release him to play.
All right, we'll find out next week right here. The Big Ten season opens. Don't miss a bit of it on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you by MGoBlue.com. Come home to Michigan sports. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. When the moment comes, will you have what it takes to finish? Gatorade. Is it in you? By Naturally Clean, Naturally Clear, Abso Pure Water. And by the men and women of General Motors, whose commitment to quality brings you outstanding cars and trucks.